text that's gonna be in this VOD is enjoy Vlad watchers lol, which is kind of accurate. It's just not good. The first part, the first 2 parts are all gonna be, low quality because I forgot to up the bitrate, and then the first one doesn't show chat. It doesn't show the chat in the bottom, and then the second one does show the chat in the bottom, but then it's got the terrible quality. All right, let me know if that's any better, boys. It should be. I could probably bump up the bitrate even higher. I just don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I feel so stupid that we just did all of that talking about tutorials, summons, all that stuff, and the video quality was terrible, and all I had to do was click a button to fix it. Good job, Green Boy. Yeah, I talked to Kai, the gamer, last night, and we're getting the next emote made. I think we actually have 3 emotes we can do now. Also, we're gonna do some FFZ emotes soon, so people can, anyone can use those emotes. We're definitely gonna do, wow, 75k, I'll take it. We're gonna do Leonidas cards for an FFZ emote. That's definitely gonna happen. But then we need to remake our wave emote. Like, our wave emote, nobody uses it, and it's just, it could be a lot better, right? So, I'm gonna try to... Oh yeah, Soldier H. Soldier H. That's actually good. Do we make that an FFZ emote or do we make that a regular emote? I kind of want to make that a regular emote so we can use it on Discord. Because I don't have a hyper emote, right? And it's so perfect. I'm so glad you all mentioned that. I'm going to tell it to Kai. That's going to be the next emote. We'll do... I always want to remember that moment, man. I'm so sad that happened before we started putting VODs on YouTube. Because, that is just amazing. And it's so perfect because the character's name was like, Roman Soldier H, right? Because they had A, B, C, and all that. And then he fucking killed Hercules. And then, we lost the stage and everything, so... What? Oh, that's just telling me if I want to repeat the stage, I think. They were just telling me about the AP and QP and all that. We're gonna do Honako D with Nursery Rhyme, and then Honako H will be the Soldier H, and then FFZ will do Leonidas cards, and then we'll remake the Coup Wave emote, which maybe I don't know if we use Coup or not. I feel like it's hard to make a good emote like that with Coup because I think the side style emote, like the one I'm gonna put in chat here, like that kind of wave, I think works better for emotes. I think people vastly prefer that kind of wave. And that'd be kind of hard to do with Coup, I feel. Might be able to do it, though. We'll see. We'll see. I want a Coup emote, right? We need a Coup emote for something, because, he's kind of my favorite, so... Got that Tales of Symphonia music, man. I swear, at least one of these will add me. Oh, yeah, we gotta fight Hercules. I forgot about that. We gotta fight Hercules in Fuyuki. We'll do that shortly. We'll level up a little bit, not too much, but that's gonna be messed up. Although we could use our Hercules and solo it right now, I'm pretty sure. Even at 111, I'm pretty sure that would work. I think that would work. The problem is we don't have any monuments, so we can't ascend anybody, and so we can't get skills. So that's the tough part. If we used our Hercules and like a OP support, it would be easy, but I want to try not to use an OP support. I'll probably get on my main account and slot like a level 50 or whatever. Because like back in the day when that fight was like relevant, everyone was new. Everyone was new back then, right? So nobody could summon a level 90 or some nonsense. And again, I'm not handicapping myself like that for the stream. That's just how I naturally want to play the game. So you only get to fight that boss once, man. No point in wasting it. Yeah, there are monuments in the shop, that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna have to farm this. I just hate that all my opening streams are gonna be the fucking summer event. It's not quite what I wanted. I first account had no friends until Lost Belt 1. Did just nobody accept you, or were you not sending the invites out? I swear, if you send out an invite every single stage, I mean, you're gonna get somebody that's like, oh yeah, I can get FP off this guy. I just didn't send invites? Okay, that's not as oof. I'd be really oof if everybody was rejecting you. Like, fuck that guy. Yeah, generally a really easy way, because a lot of times there's a lot of people that are happy to add new players and stuff, right? So if you just go to a Discord and like, hey, can somebody add me? And, you know, or if you're looking for something specific, like pimp out my own Discord again. You know, if you go to our Discord, I mean, I'm not kidding, like, for real. You'd be like, hey, does somebody have a Stereos or whatever that I can use? They're gonna have it. It's really easy to find people that will add you when you do that kind of thing. However, you know, a lot of people new to the game don't even think about that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm not adding people for my chat and stuff yet. We'll do it later. Like right now, I want to see how many, you know, regular people that I don't even know that I can send invites to that will add me, and how much can those carry me for the event. And then we're doing the main story. I don't want to get carried at all. That's like the whole point. I don't want to get carried in the story because that's no fun. Rex knows. Giving him the ball. I'm annoyed that we haven't gotten more like just basic craft essences. I wanted to, like, as I got them, talk about them, like, okay, I'm gonna level this one because of this and that. But all the starting CEs we have right now are pretty bad. I mean, Victor's all right, and it's like good enough to kind of, you know, get a unit going. Although I don't have the team cost for it. But holy crap, we got like all the 4-star CEs we got were pretty garbage, and there's a lot of good 4-star CEs. The battery's 2%. Feels bad, man. Time to charge. That's happened to me a few times. Let's see, I need to level 6 times. It's just these cost 30 AP, so the XP to AP ratio is not great. But as a new account, it doesn't matter so much. But, you know, we could kind of get these levels wherever we wanted. Because we got to get through Orleans anyway. And there are some okay boss fights there. Like, you have to, you know, if you don't over level it, there are some fights where you need to actually have some basic, you know, team building going on. I should probably send some invites to some kind of scuffed accounts. They might have lower standards. Look at all these imaginary rounds. See, this guy knows. Such a good budget CE. It's such a good budget CE, and it's pretty easy to get in the long run. The main thing is I just need people that have event CEs to make it easier to farm. Probably do better than that one. Good enough. Alright, I swear I'm gonna go level up some of my units a little bit. I just don't want to level up things that I'm going to use. I guess, okay. Oceanus, it's fine to be like level 40, right? And I don't care about Septum. I literally don't care about it. So if we over level that one, whatever. But I don't want to over level Orleans, and so those units need to be like level 10 to 20. So I gotta be kind of smart about where I level here. The thing is, there's no point in using the follow system because it only works in 1.0. It doesn't work in events, and it doesn't work in Epic of Remnant and Lost Belt. And for 1.0, I don't want to summon OP supports anyway, right? Because that kills the fun, right? I don't have any fun that way. So like when I'm doing 1.0 and I'm fighting Gwaine, for example, I don't know why I said it that way, but while I'm fighting Gwaine and Lion King and all that, I want to be fighting them legit. You know, I don't want to get carried. So there's really I don't really have any use for the follow system. Because by the time I'm in content where you want to be summoning full-on, you know, strong boy supports and stuff, it's mostly after 1.0 is over anyway. You know, it's kind of like maybe Babylon and Solomon, I guess. But, you know, Epic of Remnant and Lost Belt is when the game gets pretty real, right? That's when stuff gets a lot harder. And at that point, you can't use the follow system anyway. So it's pretty irrelevant. And you can't use it for events. I would absolutely use it for events if you could. Because a new account, you know, trying to, like I said, this event's going to be hard. It's not hard right now, but this event's going to get hard for this account, big time. Because, you know, we've, like, other than Hercules, we have nothing. I will say, re-rolling to get Hercules, because, you know, anybody can do that, and then using your free Ascension on him, that's a big power boost in, like, 5 seconds, right? It's like having a max Ascended Hercules already. Like, literally, this is the first time I'm ever playing this account. This is not a starter account, SQ account, nothing like that. It's totally vanilla account, and we already have a level 80 Hercules, so... It's kind of strong! Got that good music, man. I Ninja. Yeah, fourth anniversary. The cool thing is, even if you're not a new account, you'll get it. You only have the 90 days. But basically, any account created from that for anniversary 4 and on gets 1 free Ascension. You know, takes them straight to max Ascension. And an old account that was already existing when anniversary 4 drops, they all get 1 as well. But it only lasts 90 days. Now, when I say that, I don't mean the Ascension goes away after 90 days. It's that you have 90 days to decide who to give it to. Yeah, I'm being very generic by, you know, picking Hercules for my tutorial summon and then ascending him, but it's because it is practical. And I'm always having to argue with people, them saying it's not practical anymore because he's so not good later on, but that is bullshit. Now, I do think it can give people bad habits. I do agree with that. If people overly rely on Hercules, they're not going to learn how to team build. But that's why I'm not, you know, I'm going to use this Hercules to cheese the shit out of this event, absolutely. Because the event's kind of out of my reach right now otherwise, because I literally just started. But for the main story, I'm not going to do that, because I legitimately think you'll have more fun in the main story if you don't cheese everything, and you will learn more. You know, you'll understand team building better. You know, if you're not relying on the LOL, I'm instantly leveling my Hercules, and LOL, I'm summoning my friend's level 90 Gajuna. You know, you're not going to learn a damn thing about team building. You're just getting carried, right? Now, I already know the game so well, I don't need to learn team building because I already know it. But a lot of people don't know team building. And then when they finally get caught up, and I've seen this over and over again. People, you know, they reroll for Hercules or whatever, and they, you know, instantly level him up, and then they summon, you know, supports that are super strong, carry them. And then when they get to Lost Belt 3, they don't have any idea what they're doing, and it's a lot harder for a single unit to carry you at that point. And then they get to a challenge quest in an event and they can't beat it. And it's not because it's not fair, it's not because they don't have the tools necessary, it's because after all this time, they literally have no idea how to play the game. They've just been, you know, they've just been getting carried so much they haven't learned a damn thing, right? And that's not good, you know. Now, some people don't care. Some people are, you know, they're not trying to get good. They just want to have fun and progress for the sake of progression and see their favorite animations and get their waifu or whatever, you know, and that's fine. But, you know, a lot of people do want to get good and then they, you know, are kind of screwing themselves. Or they just get stuck on Zeus and they act like the game's bullshit. They act like, oh, this isn't fair, right? Nobody can beat this unless they're a whale. People said that. So many people said that. So many people said you couldn't beat Zeus unless you're a whale, right? That's just bullshit. But you can do it. This account's gonna be completely free to play, and I'm gonna beat Zeus, and I'm not gonna need SQ revives. Like, you know, it's like, geez, people. It's not easy, but it shouldn't be. Why should Zeus be easy? He's Zeus, for crying out loud, and he's so far into the game. He's so far into the game. Nobody's fighting Zeus day 2, right? You fight Zeus pretty far in. And it's like no event that they've ever added has ever been locked behind Lost Belt 5. None of them. And we probably won't have one for a long time, and maybe ever. You know, they've actually been really dialing back the Lost Belt locked events. And when they do Lost Belt lock events, it's normally like Lost Belt 1 or Lost Belt 2, right? It's nothing crazy. So there, so far, you know, if you were free to play when Zeus landed, and you're like, oh my god, this is so not fair to free to play. You could just put it on the back burner, like I'll revisit this when I'm stronger. This whole time they haven't added anything that required you to beat them, right? So it's not a big deal. Also, it's not a big deal if you miss an event every once in a while. Hey, look, somebody added us. There we go. See. I feels good, right? We can get access to OP bullshit, and I don't have to rely on Discord or any of that, so it feels good. What does this stage even drop? Well, we'll reward this guy with a lot of FP. I'm sure that's why he did it. You know, people add scrubs because like, oh, I bet you this scrub is gonna summon me a bunch, and I'll get a lot of FP, right? Okay, so for the main story, I'm not gonna use Waiver Merlin. You know, I guess I might use single Scatty every once in a while because I truly don't think a single Scatty is that strong. Like, she's strong, but I do not think single Scatty keeps up with Waiver, Merlin, or even Tam. Like, I do not think so. Absolutely not. Outside of very specific circumstances. Like maybe with Ryder Kentucky or something. But I think a single Scatty is just not that strong. Double Scatty is that strong, though, if you have a DPS that synergizes with them, which this account doesn't even have. But for event farming and stuff, fuck that. I'm gonna use whatever I get my hands on, right? Because it's farming, and it's not big dick time. It's not time to, you know, big brain anything. It's efficiency, right? So I'm totally down for just summoning Scatty for that kind of thing. However, or Merlin or whatever, Scatty is not even going to help us. Like, what is she going to do, right? We don't even have a quick servant right now. So she's basically just generic battery. So Waiver eclipses Scatty right now hard. Like a generic Waiver right now would help this account a million times more. And pretty much always, unless this account just happens to get its own Scatty. We do have, that's true. We got Atalante. But yeah, as you say, a single Scatty does not break Atalante at all. You can't do the stupid loopy thing. You can't do Atalante plus one Scatty and do the loop stuff. You can't. You know, you'll MP like, you know, maybe once or twice and that's it. Like, it's not even close to enough. And obviously we don't have our own Waiver or anything like that. But yeah, single Scatty is still good with Atalante. I actually think single Scatty is fun. I actually think it's a pretty enjoyable gameplay. It's unfortunate that she has this reputation for being so busted, because, but she's really only busted not only when you have double Scatty, but when you have to have double Scatty and the right kind of DPS, right? Like, if you just slap double Scatty on a whatever team, and you got a DPS that doesn't actually have a you know, decent hit count, quick NP, the results are pretty, still, you know, decent, sure. Like, yeah, it's gonna do better than, like, you know, Alexander or something, because, you know, 50% battery, kind of good. There's no situation where 50% battery is not good. Evade on NP, lol. Yeah, there's a real misconception about Scatty, though, where people think she's just so broken. And, you know, like I said, I think she's fine, but because like I don't think any servant can have a targetable 50% NP battery. That's never going to be bad, right? That's always going to be really good. But I don't think she's top tier at all unless you know, very specific circumstances, which generally you need to be a whale to have access to, or been playing for a really long time. Yeah, it's funny. A whale basically never uses her NP, right? You just don't use her that way. You don't value her NP gain. You're never going to use the battery on herself. You're not going to generally pick her art cards. You know, so generally she just never gets her NP. And setups with Scatty are normally gas. So there's no time for that kind of thing. Where a newer player could use Scatty as kind of a stand-in Joan of Arc, and then also have a big NP battery. So yeah, I think Scatty can be pretty useful to new players just because of her evade. It's just funny though, because, you know, at in-game for, like, you know, whales and meta stuff, almost no one ever uses her NP ever, right? But yeah, I do think her NP is useful to newer players because they're not going to be going that fast. They're not going to be beating the stages that quickly. They wouldn't be able to loop anyway. And they might not have a quick unit, you know, for the quick up nonsense anyhow, so. However, I still think Waiver is way better for newer players because he's giving damage to all card types, And yeah, he doesn't save your team from an NP, but anyone can have David, right? If you're worried about the NP, because for real, new players are going to have more NPs coming their way because they're not going to win the stages as quickly. So they're going to have to deal with NPs a lot, more regularly than like a whale or just a long-term player. But so you can have David save you, and then have Waver save you from normal card damage. Scatty doesn't help with normal card damage at all. She doesn't do attack down. She doesn't give you defense up, any of that stuff. She does have damage cutter on her NP, but that's kind of late to the party. Waver just instantly makes you super tanky against normal card damage, and then he can slow down the enemy's NPs, and then he makes everybody do more damage, and he gives you the battery. That's way more useful, I think, to a normie, if you will. Yeah, I could see Scatty being good there, though. Definitely, because the boss insta-death. Scatty's NP does kind of suddenly become better when there's insta-death. Because let's say a boss is AoE insta-death, not only will she save your whole team from that AoE, because everyone has evade, but then also none of them can be insta-death, right? That's very good. That doesn't come up often, though. That's very unique. But yeah, there are times that it's very good. Like, I can't stress this enough. I think Scatty's a very powerful character. I think she's a very powerful 5-star support. Very, very powerful. But I think Waver and Merlin are, for most players, are going to be a lot more impactful. Like, they're broken strong, right? They're so strong, it's like ludicrous. Where Scatty's like, yeah, she's really, really strong. But I wouldn't say a single Scatty is broken. Yeah, the crit down's nice. Crit down's awesome. Crit down's always super good. Yeah, it's true. Merlin is obviously much better with Buster units because his Buster crit up is just, like so strong. Like, you're getting NP damage on a normal card. But, yeah, he doesn't need that to be good. Definitely not. Because he just offers so much survivability, the attack up, the NP gain, the star gen, the NP over time, so much defensive stuff and then still a nice chunk of offensive stuff that he just makes your team so much safer, no matter the circumstance. Even against Bull of Heaven, a fight where, you would not think Merlin would be good at all, he's still really good. You can't get that longevity out of him like you normally would, but you still get a nice burst of survivability and a burst of damage and everything. Yeah, and Merlin has crit down too, yep. I think for the normal player, I think Merlin is the strongest unit in the game. He will carry you more than anything. Like, in certain circumstances, he may not beat the stage as quick as someone else, and things like that. But in terms of, actual performance and what you can get done with minimum help, he's definitely the best one. But he's so good, I think it's boring, right? That's the thing, it's so good, I think it's boring. Now, for farming, fuck it, go nuts. But for me, I don't want to do big boss fights and rely on that. That kind of kills the fun for me. I don't, because I want to feel like, yeah, I beat Gwen, I figured it out, I got past it, I got it done. I don't want to feel like, oh yeah, Gwen kicked my ass and I summoned a guy's Merlin and he just carried the shit out of me, right? That's not fun to me. Now, if people want to play that way, by all means, don't mind me, but I really should do these stages at least once, though, where we just use our stuff servants. We don't use Hercules, we don't use the support. Like, we should beat each free quest, try it anyway to at least beat each free quest once, that way. We'll definitely do the main quest that way. We'll try not to cheese out the main quest. We'll try to, like, as playing the event, level up servants and get them strong enough to hold their own against, like, the main story. That's gonna be hard for Ruler Artori at the end. We could be fairly high level by the end of this event, so we'll see. And we'll have the damage CE, which will make it way easier. But yeah, Ruler Artoria at the end will be very tough if I don't use support. Hercules could probably handle it though, even at 80. But like, while we're fighting these like really weak free quests, they're not actually weak for this account, aside from our Hercules. However, there is definitely times where I think it's very fun to go absolutely balls to the wall, right, and use the most disgusting things you can get your hands on and try to do as much damage as possible, or, one turn a boss or whatever. That's always fun too, absolutely. I just don't normally do that for the main story. I really need to level up this Fergus. Although we'll probably use them for the Hector fight, so maybe we don't want to level them up too much. Okay, like I said, that you can be like level 40. You can be like level. Honestly, I think we could level basically everything we have up to its like default level cap, like 30. Because yeah, we're probably that's over leveling Orleans, but that's not that big of a deal. And I don't care about Septum. And then I think 30, 40 is what they expect you to be at for Oceanus. So I don't need to worry about it too much. I don't think. I don't know why I'm doing the quick up. We're just gonna do Buster stuff. It is funny, day one though, we have access to Herc this strong. It's almost like Hercules is the best 4-star in the game or something, because he's applicable in like every situation ever, and the extra survivability. And everyone can reroll for him, and everyone can use their max ascend on him. It's kind of good. I should target switch. Good target switch pretty easily there. Yeah, there's no good fights in Septum anyway, and also I just hate Septum as a story. It's just terrible. Now she's really good too, but I don't think she's better. I think she's close. There's a reason why I made both of them the 2 strongest 4-stars. And there are unique circumstances where she's better because she has no team cost. There's just no way around how good that is. But there's just a lot of fights that Mash can help, absolutely. There's very few fights Mash can't help. There are some fights she's really bad for. There's some very burst-oriented fights where she's kind of trash, but that's pretty rare. But she rarely is going to carry you, right? It's not like Mash is just going to, LOL, we're going to win because we have Mash. That's almost never a thing, right? She's just like, hey, yeah, I'm really helpful all the time. It's like, yeah, Mash is really helpful all the time. Where Hercules is really helpful all the time, and he can just straight up carry you against so many fucking boss fights. But, for real, it's not like I put Mash way lower on the tier list. Mash and Hercules were right next to each other, and they're both the absolute top tier 4-stars. However, also, Mash can't help you in the beginning, because you don't have access to 4-star Mash for a long time, right? You have 3-star Mash. And then after that, then you have to use VR Mash, right? So the window of her overall helpfulness to a normal player is so much smaller, right? There's no way Mash could be carrying us right now, where I literally made this account just now, and I already have Hercules like this. I didn't have to do any whale shit, and then he's already carrying the hell out of us. Mash couldn't do that, right? And then once Mash is a 4-star, and she does have her upgraded skills and all that, Hercules can still be carrying us in that part, so... it's not a meme that Hercules is devastatingly good and is just so helpful to everyone. Because even when you get, like, way later... God, this song is so loud. Even when you get way later in the game and you're fighting really hard challenge quests and stuff, yeah, he's not going to just solo the challenge quest for you, but he can still help clean up big time. Like, the Summer 3 challenge quest is very difficult, right? And like Hercules is extremely helpful there, and you don't need Hercules plus like waiver Merlin nonsense. You can use total budget stuff with them. Got Hercules when you know nothing about the game, feels good. I know a lot of people that actually rerolled for him way back in the day just because they like Hercules from Face Night. Which honestly, that's a part of it for me too, because I too really like Hercules just as a character. That's actually a huge part of this. I would not be using him right now if I didn't like him, and also if I had him on the main account. A big part of this is because I don't have Hercules on my main account, and that drives me insane. And I've always wished I had him. So. I mean, 3-star Mash is good if you get her skills up, but a lot of people aren't going to get her skills up before she becomes a 4-star. She's still good. I don't think she's as good as like some of the other 3-stars, but she's still very good. I would still put her really high. Yeah, I probably should pick Hercules for my SR ticket. I normally use my SR ticket to make a character that I already have in P2, right? Because to really like actualize a character I really like and like use them in videos and stuff, I really want them to be like in P2, right? So like, if I got like in P1 Penth, I want to make Penth in P2. I don't know if I've ever used my free 4-star ticket to pick a 4-star I didn't have. That's just how I am. I just really like making characters NP2 or higher. However, and I've always thought I would have had Hercules by now. I've been playing the game for like 4 years, you know, and I roll on White Day and stuff, so I figured I'd have Hercules by now. And like I said, I've eventually gotten every other unlimited 4-star out there. He's the only one I don't have. So, you know, it's just the statistics were against me on this one. Wait, what stage am I even doing right now? Am I doing the main story? What am I even... I'm not paying attention. What am I doing? I'm doing the main story. I don't want to cheese it. Okay, this is main story. So we'll... No Hercules. So can I... Is there story support? If there's story support, we'll just always go with that. That's like the most legit thing you could possibly do. And I want the FP. Anyway. I guess Masashi's the best, just because Berserker makes sense here. Alright, this front team will be our just, you know, murder them team, and then our second team will be like quote-unquote legit. Okay, hold on. For God's sakes, we need to at least level up a little bit. Like, I think it's okay if we go past level 5. Oh man, we're so cheesy, we're like level 15. Give me George, give me George, give me George! Oh yeah, I need to also upgrade my NPs. We got NP2 Ku now. And NP2 Medusa. George! Damn it! Sanson's so good! Or so cool, but he's so bad! That's one of my favorite characters right there, but there's like no way I'm gonna level him anytime soon. I did on an A though. I totally did on an A just because I like him. I know, we probably will. Oh, that's okay. That's one of the command codes that's decent. I don't know, I probably will level Sanson some just because I like him. And he has debuff removal, so... Like, if I don't acquire, like, a gold with debuff removal, it might actually make sense to level him a bit, so we'll see. I'm used to the 1 to 3 star account where I have to be ungodly picky about what I level. That's not really the case with this account, so I can definitely take my time and level things that I actually want for funsies. But there really is no time that Sanson is exceptionally good. There's times where he's not terrible, but there's really never a time that he's amazing. That's just that's not a thing. I think we have more than one Arash, or whatever. I suspect if I have a friend request, it's from chat, but I'll check. Oh wow, we already got MP2 Babbage. If we don't get Caster Coup, we might make Babbage our guy. But we have Nursery Rhyme, so I would normally say, yeah, Caster Coup, Babbage, something like that is going to really help you out with Shimosa and that kind of thing. But because we have Nursery Rhyme, she's kind of the one to go with. Guys, NP2 Bin-K. The power. Man, our Stella's pretty weak right now, though. It's a little beefier, but we don't have the upgraded NP yet. Don't have his 3rd skill yet. There's a lot of issues. NP2 Jason, alright. Our boy. I think it's more curse damage? It's either more curse damage or the stun chance goes up. I think it might be the stun chance goes up, which that's actually important. Because that's if we the only good thing about his NP is if it stuns people, so low stars are actually really important right now because we don't have access to much team cost. Okay, we don't have that much XP right now, but we can get it pretty easily if we want to. Also, we have the start dash stuff coming up too, which should get more XP that way. I don't really like either Da Vinci, and I find both of them annoying, like how they talk so much in the menus when you have to like go back and forth. But I definitely prefer old Da Vinci over young Da Vinci. So I'm going to prioritize single target a lot over AoE because you can still farm with single target units, right? You can still farm with them. And then they're way better for the main story. So if we want to get through the main story on our own, it just makes a lot of sense to prioritize those. I do want to get some AoE up. We'll level Spartacus when we get him, definitely. What else makes sense? I guess we're getting Nurse Rhyme up some. We don't have the team cost for much yet, but we will eventually. Alright, back to violence. This song, dude. It is weird having our first event be such a silly event. We'll do chat versus FGO at some point, absolutely. I think I know how to do it, where it's not like complete spam, so that'll definitely happen. Alright, no Hercules nonsense here. I should have leveled an archer. I wasn't really thinking about it. That would have been wise. We probably have the team cost to handle that. Don't have Alexander yet. I might only bring one more in the back because his CEs are really limited right now. Feels bad, but let's bring more bond stuff. Because eventually, you know, right now we're not worrying about, you know, doing upgrade quests and stuff, but we're gonna have to later, so. Get your pitchforks, boys. I'm not adding anyone from chat yet. I will after we beat 1.0, but I don't want chat carrying me or anything like that, you know, because it's, you know, yeah, I can add a random and have them carry me or whatever, but like, you know, anyone could do that. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm relying on my clout, if you will, right? I gotta. Okay, so this is if you think, because we're not, you know, we're not cheesing this. That's a big step up from Saber Alter. Saber Alter had 22k. These both have 54. This actually might be a problem. This might be a real problem right now. Thankfully, Ushi looks pretty broken. Ushi? What am I saying? Musashi is pretty broken here. You can probably carry this. What a great turn. Oh, that's right, he's stunned. That's so silly. Why did they do that? Caster Gill's costume is pretty nice. He's on the phone, lol. Is that seriously the reason he's stunned? He's actually on the phone? That'd be kind of funny. Like if the debuff was called that. Might seem like a weird use of that, but yes, lol, that's pretty funny. He does secretary work for Gil, wow. Wonder how they get along, that's pretty funny. Oh, joke events, man. Just casually downing udon there. Oh, I could have killed him right there. Well, we can do the MP now and be stylish. Yeah, that was pretty easy. You could literally be a day one account and like it's, you know, Musashi's got that as long as you don't play like a complete moron. Good old English. That's some pretty extreme English right there. And people make fun of my pronunciation of things, man. Like, what is wrong with you? She tried her best, chat. So I would go with Siegfried because he's less like of a carry, but the enemy's an archer, so not gonna do that. Do I have anybody that gives like attack up? I guess get Buster up at least, that's something. Who do I need? I mean, I need to get Bond and like Hans, but I don't have Hans. Yeah, she's saying the wrong name, chat. It's supposed to be Data Lost. I think younger people are actually more likely to have good English in Japan nowadays, though, because there's a greater emphasis on learning it now and that kind of thing. It's just like a lot of older people aren't going to be so good with technology these days, who are like, you know, 13-year-olds got it down pat. Kind of a similar situation. And, you know, different people just care different amounts, and also different, you know, people have different backgrounds with what they're used to pronouncing and that kind of thing. I don't hold it against anybody not being able to speak a language that's not their native one. It's fine. Unless you move to the country, obviously, then you need to learn it, but... Man, not having protection from arrows feels weird. For sure we win there. Shakespeare. I'm a BRB 1 second. I need to grab water real quick. I really am curious though how this event is going to go in the long run for this account, because it does get a lot harder as it goes. All right, I'll be back. Alright, what is going on? I swear, sometimes it's Cthulhu in chat, and now I don't know what this is. This is actually an okay-ish 3-star CE. I like Parted Sea more overall, but it's still a one-hit evade. It can still be handy. But yeah, I mean, Parted Sea is an unlimited CE, so people generally get plenty of copies of it. I will say though, 3-star CEs, the staple ones, are so much harder to get now because there's just so many trash CEs that just like fill up your rolls. You know, back in my day, you know, most of the 3-star CEs at least had some kind of use, and so MLBing. That's the thing, 3-star CEs generally aren't good until you MLB them, and it used to be a lot easier to do that, and now it's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, boomer, indeed. Wait, what did the stage drop again? So as nice as carries are, I'm just gonna do that. Man, I wish we had Robin. Imagine having Ported Sea but not adding Moses. Feels bad, man. We at least have one Kimlon, so that's a start. You know, looking at Hercules' face there, I think he might be a little mad. Looks stressed. These stages are so easy that this isn't that relevant, but a lot of times it is really good to use Hercules' evade, like on the first one you think you can take damage, and then then use guts, and then a lot of times have your evade back. Now, that's not as applicable right now because our evade skill is not even 6, so its cooldown is a little long, but it can matter. Slightly miffed. I wish someone else had a Buster card so we get a Buster Chain there, but No, I'm not using Hokusai. We already talked about that. Like, there are many things good enough to get the job done that I actually like. This is me we're talking about. Do you really think I'm going to use Hokusai over, like, Caesar and Bedivere? Like, of course not. Also, Caesar has some of the highest NP damage in the game right now, so, you know, that's a thing. Although we have to actually, you know, access him and all that. I think I'm gonna Grail Caesar, by the way. I'm really leaning that way. We'll see. There's a lot to love there. Oh yeah, let me check our invites. See if we. I mean, there's no. The thing is, like I said, I basically can never accept a friend invite right now because there's. I'll never be able to know for sure if it's an actual random or oh, it's Aerie. Okay. Oh well, I add Aerie because we actually need her for just farming later. But you know, like I said, I'm not gonna add people from chat until we beat 1.0. And so anyone that invites, you know, sends an invite to me, there's no way for me to know if it's a true random or someone from chat. So I kind of basically just have to say no, you know, no to all of them until we're done with 1.0. It's actually TF, I know, right? Look at all this QP we're getting though. Still don't have 40 AP though. I think that's pretty funny. I don't know if we actually need to do this stage that many times. You might have to fight those guys later. No, I guess it's fine for now. There's such a part of me that just wants to summon my my Billy there, but that's cheating. Although, because once we get going in the event, I don't mind cheesing the event. Like, I think any new player that's doing the first event, they're gonna do everything they can to cheese it anyway, because their servants are so weak at that point. And I want to cheese it. That's the thing. This account is mostly about what I want to do, and then just being free to play and what's practical. You know, how can you do what you want to do while also being free to play? That's kind of the idea. And like, I don't want to use, you know, Merlin and Waver, but I'm totally down for just about anything else, so. Watch this NP gain, chat. Big fat, like, 2 or maybe 1.5. Oh my god, 3 though. It was actually probably like 2 and some change, and then it, you know, rounded up. Or we already had some change, and that's what got us there. But should have done Valor on that turn, or Bravery, or whatever the hell it's called, depending on the translation. They hit it very hard button. I'll definitely do farming some farming off stream. But I'll make sure I don't do any, like, you know, main quest stuff, you know, especially main story, you know, all that stuff will be on stream. But like, if we're just generically farming something, things like that, a lot of that stuff I'll do off stream. And whenever the next stream happens, I'll make sure I you know, fill people in on what I did and that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think I need to show every second of farming that this account ever does. Hey, I haven't streamed in forever, so I want to stream a bit here. I want to get, you know, a bit caught up. You know, this account, you know, should have been played like, you know, a week ago. We just now started playing, so. Yeah, the soldiers are cool. I like their NP animation. I mean, the helmet's pretty impractical, though. I mean, who knows what tech is going on in there for, like, infrared or whatever, who knows. But I mean, it's decently practical. It's certainly not the most practical by any means, though. Well, let me check. Where are we on objectives here? And did we level? I think we might have leveled. And if we did, we should do the 40 AP ones. See how those go. Those will definitely be a bit hard. Nope, still not enough. Yeah, let's look on a few. These stages, though, are bad AP to XP ratios, which is unfortunate. Like, it's really nice on new accounts if you do good AP to XP ratios. The amount of AP you get is ridiculous. I think we gotta do this stage one more time, and then we'll have 40 AP. Rex wants that FP, man. What are you trying to get? MP10 Saber Lily? Okay. Can Billy do 1,900 damage here? Yep. Chat, what was your first event on whatever your main account is? I actually get confused and I don't remember what it is because I started playing the game and then I realized what rerolling was and I rerolled for Mordred later and I get kind of confused between those two accounts. The oldest events I don't remember if it was the first account or the second account, but I know Nerofest 2 is going on. And then also I remember like the rerun for the Halloween event. Those are the two first events I remember. But yeah, I'm not sure. A lot of people saying Moon Goddess. Case Files? Oh, wow, that's pretty recent. That was a fun event, though. I could see that. I could really see that being a fun first event. Guda 1 played because of Nobu fan art. So what? You just randomly saw Nobu fan art and like, oh, I want to know what that is. Is that how that happened? Yeah, the original Nerofest was not great. Yeah, on NA, I had played ever since day one. Like, I played since day one of NA, because I'd already been playing JP. But obviously, I was playing JP before NA even existed, and the first events I remember were Nerofest 2 and the rerun of Halloween 1. Like with, Casterliz and all that. But I don't remember which order all that goes in. I think there might have been something before that. I'm so looking forward to doing like the later bosses and stuff again. Like the early stuff, you kind of have to hold yourself back with the way the game is now. There's a lot of power creep. If you want them to still be interesting. For the later game, that won't be the case. Hey, Folo, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, man. I think I said that right. Folo ad. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good old Barbertos. We'll get to fight him once. So Dante's randomly, and I was like, I want that. I mean, that's reasonable.
Okay.
Saw people playing it at Anime X? Wow. I'm assuming the NA version then. Any of my friends love your channel. We're from Spain. Wow, that's awesome, dude. Well, hello to Spain. Appreciate it, though. Dude, it's wild. I love hearing from people from all over the world, man. It's awesome. I want to do the main story right now so bad, dude. It's so much more fun, and you get to have fun with the whole not, over leveling and all that. But with the events, you just gotta, get in there and grind some. But, getting this event under our belt is gonna help this account a lot. It gives us a 50% starting in PCE with damage up. That's huge. Some nice command codes. There's a lot of good here. I don't know why I didn't catch that a while ago. Can we get 17k here? Come on, Herc. You got buffs, although they're all level 1. No. See our Mysticode's even level 1, and then Shakespeare's skills level 1, and Herc's skills level 1. Oh, chat. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Our Mysticode's level 2. Excuse me. Gonna be honest, I only started because of the Dojins, lol. Well, I mean, that's not my cup of tea, but I can respect that. Okay, I think we have 40 AP now. That's such a weird thing, just now having a maximum AP of 40. Dude, this account versus Zeus, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. We're gonna have to get our a Fuma for that. Fuma's not the only thing that works, but he really does help. He's a huge help for a free-to-play account. Gonna have to keep our eyes out for... You know what this account needs is a class banner. That's what I might save up for. Like I said, we'll roll a few times, get some basic CEs under our belt and that kind of thing. But then we'll start saving up. And I guess class banners would be what... Because then we can get Asclepius and that kind of thing. That'd be good. Although, I think to get Asclepius from class banners, we have to have beaten his Lost Belt. That'll be a minute. Wait, no. I haven't leveled yet. Really? Guess we'll do this one again. One more time. Wait, ice cream truck? What, in real life?
Okay, ryokai.
I've actually never gotten ice cream from an ice cream truck, but every time I see an adult getting ice cream from an ice cream truck, I'm always like, this is a good thing. I mean, who doesn't like some ice cream? I mean, I guess if you're lactose intolerant, so...
Okay, ikuyo.
It's weird seeing Billy do that little damage. Because I'm used to level 100 Billy, that's 2k foed. This one's not even 1k foed. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to get the foes from this shop. This event's going to be a pain, because we need a lot of the stuff from it to kind of get the ball rolling, right? So we're pretty weak right now, and we don't want to level too much, because I don't want to run the story, so it's all kind of weird. 50-50, let's go, Billy. I should have still put Hercules last. I mean, Billy's level 5. For God's sakes. Alright. I'll take that. It's kind of funny though when a 26k boss is kind of the equivalent of like, you know, I don't know, like 200k or something. I don't know what the equivalent would be exactly, but for like my level 5s and 10s and stuff, kind of daunting. Oh, there's the Herc music. I'll take it. Dude, I can't wait to show off how much Hercules can carry later on. So many people act like he can't, and oh my god. I'm telling you, the goal, this is the goal. Hercules has to be the one to kill Zeus. Gotta take Pops down. And you hear that little story bit about, you know, Zeus talking about Hercules and stuff? Like, we gotta... That's gotta happen. That is the goal. We gotta get Bonton Hercules by the time we get to Zeus. And he's gotta take him out. And I kinda wanna record that. Bond 2, boys! We're on our way. We just got a couple of Bond points to go. Just a few. Dude, the AP to XP ratio on this stage is awful. A lot of event stages are like that though, which kind of sucks. Yeah, 2 out of 10, right? Totally how this works. The sad thing is I could probably get to Zeus before we're Bond 10, but I feel like I have to... at that point I have to get Bond 10s. I need to stock up on apples, so if I need to grind like that, I can. So we gotta be smart with our AP while leveling is easy. Alright, this stage will be a bit tougher, I suspect. I feel like the first time we do it, we don't want to get like super carried, but I mean we have to summon something. But the game won't let us not. Do we try the... Okay, the thing is, if we fail though, we lose 40 AP. We probably... This is... I feel like this is not the time to be doing stupid stuff. Like, it really isn't. Alright, fine, Rex. We're not counterclassing, but I feel like this is good enough. Is that Booty Lancer on that CE? I guess that is. I can't think of who else that would be. Yeah, let me just reset so you can switch to the CE Rex. I don't need that 40 AP at all. I would love to see Shakespeare interacting with these two. That would be pretty entertaining. Real shame that Shakespeare doesn't have his third skill right now. I know what that Sanson was aimed at. That might have been the most amazing thing. The timing on that was kind of unreal. Okay, see, this is where bringing an archer would have actually been nice. Hercules got this. I'm so worried about the final free quests. I think that's going to be rough on this account. I don't know, with between Hercules and being able to summon his support, that'll probably get the job done. Kind of funny that day one you're able to get that much power though. Like between support and the one free ascension they give you. And because Hercules works against all classes, you can kind of catch, I mean, I can't believe some people think Hercules is not like the best 4-star pick for the tutorial summon. It's like, he so blatantly is. It's like, oh, that was day one thinking. It's like, it's really not. How is Hercules getting his NP before Artoria? He's got the battery. He made this overhit. Oh yeah. Oof. Dude, I love the fluff sound of that. Like the poof, that's funny. Nothing like NP1 not 1k foed Hercules. That's how you get the big damage in, boys. Also with level 2 Mystico. Too much disinfect more. Hey, Herc's NP in slow-mo is awesome. My day one was Thinno, I just rolled with it. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded a Thinno just to kind of show off that you can make pretty decent use of her. But she certainly is no Hercules. I was tempted to go with like Martha or something. That would have been a fun one. You can't get Dion from your tutorial summon anymore. Feels bad for Dion fans, because I'm sure some people would start the game and really like him, so. Dude, I'm not even kidding. I'm probably gonna just have 2 ads. I may not be, actually, I might not have control over it because of the music. It might get monetized by a company. I can't monetize anyway because my second channel's not a YouTube partner. So I can't put ads on anything. It's completely up to the companies at that point. But if I could, I would probably just put one at the start and one at the end. I don't think I would put them, like, it's just too annoying to put them everywhere. Like, no one wants that. Like, at most, maybe one in the middle. If it's like a 3-hour video, I feel like one in the middle is fine. But really, I'm just not the kind of person who wants to slap a bunch of ads on my videos. It's annoying. Yeah, they added Suzuka, Pravati. I think they added one other one. All the 4-stars are good though. I mean, all of them. Like, I think Thinno is probably the most niche. I think she is really good in her niche, but it's like, you know, she is that niche. Hi, Genical. Thank you for the... What is with all the gift sub bombs from everybody today? Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Jesus Christ, people. I really appreciate it though. Thank you guys. How you doing, Genical? What was I just talking about? Oh, the 4-star. God, I need to check my Streamlabs settings so I can turn off the. So whenever it's a gift bomb, I can make it one notification sound all at once instead of the 10. But yeah, I think Thinno is the most niche out of all of them. But still is useful. I mean, buff removal is really nice. She does put that huge defense down on the target, so she makes other people's NPs hit crazy hard. And then she makes Divine Servants hit crazy hard on top of that. That's good, man. It's totally fine. But she's not going to carry you anything like Hercules will or anything like that. But Martha's super good. I think Martha's one of the better picks because she has team-wide debuff removal. That is massive. And then she's got, you know, pretty good damage now because all of her buffs. She's got the heal for everybody. Like, I think Martha's a damn good tutorial summon. I can't really think of any that are bad. I think Thinno is the closest to being bad just because she's quite niche. Also, I'm actually kind of worried that this thing kind of scares me. This isn't really what I want to see on a new account. How am I gonna deal with this? Do we NP this wave, or then I guess we'll try to get through this wave the normal way. I could try to repeat NP with her. She's pretty good at that. Her NP has a very large defense down on it, and it does buff removal for the target you're targeting. And then she has, got charm and NP drain and all that stuff. Like, if you like do her NP before Gilgamesh's, because Gilgamesh is divine, she'll give Gilgamesh the really large attack up, 40% attack up, and then she'll do the really big defense down before his NP, and then her NP will overcharge Gil's NP, which makes his NP do more damage, right? It's stuff like that is pretty handy with her. And she is okay if the enemy isn't divine, it's just not amazing. You know what? I don't have to NP this way. I'll do it anyway. Yeah, we'll use Shakespeare to get rid of the buff block, most likely. Yeah, Antoinette's quite good too, since she got buffed. Let me look at the tutorial summons real quick. I don't think any of them are bad. Now, some of them aren't amazing on NA right now, but the NA doesn't have the different tutorial summon right now anyways, so. I was looking at this, I would say, yeah, I mean, none of these are bad. I would say Steno is probably the weakest, because she's just niche. She's really niche. Everything else is good. Everything. I guess the next lowest would be Nursery Rhyme. And then I guess maybe Helena. But yeah, I mean, these are all good. And Suzuka doesn't, I wouldn't say she definitely doesn't keep up with like Emiya, Herc, Tamcat, Siegfried. She's not that, she's definitely not that level. Definitely not Parvati, Martha level, but she's still good. She still does her job as Naoe Saber. But I'd say she's a good bit behind. Wait, what? Stop ranting, look at the bits. Jesus Christ, Saber Nero with that 100 bits. And he actually knows the color green is the best because we got the clover here. Also, my Steno got the killing blow on Fafnir. I mean, that seems like the right way because she's an assassin. Jesus, dude, thank you for the 100. I don't know what's gotten into my chat today. Just everyone's gifting subs and dropping bit bombs, but I appreciate it, guys. And I don't even know what to say. I'll just say I really hate buff block. Yeah, $100. I know it's $100, not 100 bits. I don't know what the fuck I said. Saber Nero does that every once in a while, dude, and I never know what I'm supposed to say. Did I say 100 bits? Yeah, I think for the 100 bits, that's 100 bits, 10,000. It's the same thing, right? I knew that's what it was. I didn't say the right thing. I was thinking $100 is 100 bits. Because that's how math... Look, Twitch is the one that's got to do this arbitrary, conversion bullshit, right? I didn't come up with any of that. Dude, back in my day, we didn't even have bits. I'm not even kidding. I'm literally not even kidding. Like, when I first got into Twitch, bits weren't a thing. I wasn't really streaming back then, but I watched streams. And I want to say bits were added a little bit after I started streaming, but I don't quite remember. Here we go again. But yeah, thank you so much, Saber Nero. You're always helping the stream out. Honestly, I would not have hated if we had gotten Steno on this account, just because, one, between Steno and Uriel, I think Steno is a way cooler character. I really don't like Uriel, but I think Steno's a better character, though she gets like no screen time, so that's the thing. But then her gameplay is pretty unique, and she's so famous for being terrible, but I mean, I just don't think she's terrible at all. I would have been okay with that. And showing off how, how you can use her in what situations, like with the buff block. I mean, absolutely, if we had gotten her in her tutorial summon, I think we could have made some pretty cool stuff with that down the line. But who knows, maybe we'll get spooked by her. It can happen. Yeah, I remember watching like Dark Souls streams and stuff, PvP. And there was no bits back then. See, I just imagine if we didn't have all that fucking internet drama, I could have my own Mordred right now from that free 5-star ticket. Like, we literally missed it by a few days. I mean, I'm really not that salty because I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, well, you started with the free 5-star. It's not, you know, blah, 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 blah. Also, it's like anything I picked would be something that I probably already had on my other accounts, so it's not like that big of a deal, but there's never enough Mordred, Rex. Like, I really liked Mordred as the pick there because she doesn't take hero proofs, and then she takes Dragon Fangs, which are easy. And, like, I have very little other things that need Dragon Fangs. And then she's a 5-star that's good, but she's not going to carry you like Waver at all, right? She'd be like, yeah, she's going to be really helpful and really worth leveling, and it's going to make farming a hell of a lot easier. But she's not like some broken servant that's like, oh wow, this guy's using Mordred. I couldn't possibly do what this guy's doing. You know, that's not a thing at all. So I think it would, and I really like Mordred. She's one of my favorite characters. Like, she's not my favorite, you know, it's obviously like Coup and all that stuff, but I mean, she's definitely up there. The thing is, you have to already have the ticket. Like, you're able to turn the ticket in until the 14th, but you have to already have it, and I don't think you can get the ticket anymore. Which is stupid. It's really dumb the way they did it. Like, the mission to get the ticket was only available until the 7th, and then you can turn that ticket in up until the 14th, and then you have up until the 30th to get the whole bond thing and all that nonsense done, which makes no sense. Yeah, I thought it was the 14th too, but it was a lie. But yeah, I could have played this account before the 6th, and just the only reason I wasn't was because of like, I would have done it. I would have beaten Orleans and all that before the 6th. It was just I was having all that internet problems, and I just could not get it fixed until today. And yeah, so I missed out. But it's not that big of a deal. In a way, I'm happy because then people can't bitch about, oh, you didn't pick Karna, or you didn't pick, you know, what, insert my waifu here. So that's a carry. Hopefully we'll just get Karna, you know. Because I stand by this. Karna has my favorite, I think, attack animations in the game overall. Like, they're done so well. MP2 Clayboy. Yeah, I use my 5-star ticket with the same logic for my 4-star tickets. I didn't pick something I didn't have. I picked something I wanted to make an MP rank higher on. Like, you know, my ult account had Forspindo, but, you know, to really make him awesome, you kind of want NP2, and I just had an NP1. So my ult account, I made him NP2. And then my main account, I had Mordred NP4. She'd actually been at NP3 for years and years and years. Then I randomly, like, rolled on her a bit. Like, I threw like some tickets at her on the rerun of APOC, I think, and like 2 tickets or whatever I got her. So she was NP4, and then I used the free 5-star ticket to make her NP5. So that was kind of awesome. I don't know if we even bother going for NP. I'm not gonna miss the I'm glad I don't need the hero proofs for Karna, is what I'm getting at. Karna really needs to prove he's a hero, indeed. I have just way too many characters on this account that need hero proofs. It's kind of ridiculous. Because, I mean, you know, David, Coup, Hercules, George. Although technically we don't have George yet, but we will. George is very, very, very high priority for leveling. One of the highest priorities right now, though, is Robin, Mozart, David. Because Gwen is the first hard boss, so... And if I don't want to cheese it, then I'm gonna need that stuff. The thing is, a lot of the accounts I don't play actively, and like, especially because I just made this account and I really care about this account. I'm gonna be playing this a lot more than a lot of the other accounts. So, like, you know, and like my main, like, I barely have to play my main anymore, right? And I just play my main whenever there's new content that I care about. It's like, oh hey, there's a new main story with boss fights. Yeah, I'll play my main account in that. That's awesome. You know, new challenge quests, stuff like that. But I don't need to farm on my main account really. It's like, yeah, I could use some hero proofs, and I do that. Actually, I'm right now, I'm gonna open up my phone and for my other account, and I'm gonna start the stage that gives hero proofs, just cause might as well use the AP and you know, If there's one mat that I need, it's hero proofs. We don't have a command for this account right now, but also I'm not accepting anybody's invites right now because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to like rely on my clout, if you will. I want to get through like a normal person. I basically want to play how I would play this account off stream, but stream it, right? But when we get to Lost Belt 1 and Epic of Remnant, then I'll probably add people from chat, because I feel like at that point, you're so far into the game, most people would have a plethora of people on their friends list, friends or not, like real life friends or not, or what have you. So at that point, I think it's fine if I start using like my main account servants and I start using, you know, people from chat. Then I think it's fine. But like, besides, I wouldn't summon them anyway, right? I don't want to cheese Gwaine, right? So I'm not going to summon somebody's, you know, level 100 Gilgamesh or whatever. You know, I wouldn't do that anyways. So there's no point in adding anybody right now. Like, I'll use them for farming, sure. I'll use whatever the fuck for farming, but that's just farming. But yeah, for now, we'll keep our friends list super, super small. And I'm mostly just going to invite random people that I just, you know, I just see random people, I send them an invite, I don't even know them. Because anybody can do that. Okay, I for real like started a stage on my other phone for hero proofs. Yeah, I'll probably end up using it. Well, actually, I'll probably use my Canis because, you know, I really like Canis and I have my own that's grailed and everything, so I kind of shut out of luck on that one. It's kind of like if I want to use a really pimped out coup, I'm using mine. Like, it's just that's how it's gonna. You know, if I'm gonna use a really strong Billy, I'm gonna use mine, right? Because they're my favorites and I grailed them for a reason. Like, I didn't grail my Billy and coup so I could use somebody else's, right? That's not a thing. DC Braun having a bad day, man. I actually like the flame background in her NP. It makes me think of like a phoenix, but I know it's like a dinosaur, but it still looks cool. Yeah, I'll probably use your Martha next. My Martha is nothing special. I think both of Arcanuses, what are symptoms? Anyway, I think both of Arcanuses are at level 98, and they look at 100 at the same time. Unless you don't have the Grail from this event, because I already have it, so I won't get it. I'll get a lore. So you'll actually get the, oh, that'll suck. You'll get ahead of me on that. If you have not obtained this Grail yet, that'll be enough to get you to 100, and then I'll have to wait for the next one. You bastard. I'm thinking you already got it though. I mean, this event is only a year old, and I think you were playing JP a year ago. I think. Rex is giving me sass right now. I have the Grail from this event last year. Okay, I'm safe. Alright, what do we even need to do mission-wise here? Probably this one, because I remember there's quests to kill, like, the giant enemies and stuff. I don't know if we need to do that, like, I don't know if that's what we need to unlock the main story, but, the next main story, I should say. But we're gonna need to do it one way or the other, so... I'm surprised how well this account is doing, actually, for these quests. I mean, literally day one. Someone's like support and Hercules is a bit of a carry. We probably won't use our Hercules in the main story, though, until... probably Camelot. I feel like he's too strong for even America. So yeah, I won't use him for the main story until Camelot. I might not use him much for that anyway, just because... if I can get away without using him, I probably should. I do want to use him sometimes just to do it, though, even if I don't need to, just because I fucking like Hercules, and I've always wanted to be like, LOL, look how easy you can wreck everything with Hercules. Actually, I should do, after that hero-proof stage, I need to just do the event stages. Boom, got Vlad. Well, I hope you like Vlad. I mean, he really isn't terrible, right? I mean, he's just not great for a 5-star. That's the main thing. Like, the only reason he is good-ish is because he's a 5-star, because he has those high stats. If it wasn't for that, he'd be, like, if he was a 3-star, oh lord, he'd be bad. And a grailed 3-star is definitely better than Vlad. I don't think anyone would argue that. I think a good 3-star that's Grail, that's definitely better than Vlad. But, you know, he's alright. But yeah, if you don't like Vlad, if you seriously don't like Vlad, like he's not a character you really care about, then I would just turn him into Anniversary Blonde. I think that's totally legit. Unless you're like, oh wow, I could really use a Berserker to carry me. Because, you know, early game, any Berserker that you level up, you know, and has good stats can just see red press red, or in his case, see blue press blue, and help you out a lot. So it's not like he can't carry you, he can. It's just he won't, he doesn't have the longevity, right? Hercules is super good early game, and he stays super good forever, right? Vlad, not exactly. I should have cast this turn 1. That is such a mistake that I didn't do that. Kind of throwing. Also, I should have cast this last turn. Mistakes everywhere. Yeah, I prioritize Anniversary Blonde quite a bit. It's a very good Mystico to have. It's not, you don't use it as often as Default or even Atlas, but you still use it a lot, especially on a free-to-play account. Because Switch Mystico is a lot less good when you don't have super powerful supports. So you don't need it as much. Switch Mystico is still good though, definitely. Honako came in here and dropped a sub bomb. Should have cast Guts there. Not really paying attention, which I don't know why I'm not paying attention to this account. It's not like, oh yeah guys, this account is so strong, I can just, you know, ignore everything and click random buttons and I'll be fine. Nothing could possibly go wrong. It's not like my back row is nothing but level 5s. Surely that's not the case. Alright, time to blast him. Altria, please no. What really scares me is how many people, it's not like a troll thing or anything. They legitimately don't even, they were introduced to the character through FGO in A, not obviously not JP. And so they just think that's their name and they don't actually get the whole controversy over it. And that's not their fault, it's just, it's a scary thing. I think the sound effects messed up there. It's because Japan doesn't understand L's and R's, and they think Altria does spell Artoria. They want it to be Artoria, and they think that's how you say, like they think that's Artoria, right? It's a mess. And in official stuff, they have spelled it Artoria and Altria. They've spelled it both ways. It's very stupid. Also, we know Type Moon told them to translate it that way. We don't know though if it was Nasu specifically. Like that's, we have no idea. I would actually kind of guess it's not, but who knows. But yeah, it's just kind of typical translation issues. That's it is what it is. Hi. Going to actually click the right button this time. Come on, give me those crits. There you go. Now give me another one. Get that MP gain. Yeah, there you go. Like, I mean, ultimately, I don't really care. If someone likes Altria more than Artoria, that's fine. And if you want to call her that, that's fine. It's, you know, there's official works that call her both, so whatever you want. It's just like, I don't care if you call him Hercules or Heracles. It just doesn't matter. I'm never one to get anal about pronunciation. I think it's dumb to get anal about that kind of stuff. However, I do understand why people don't like Altria, because they know it came about through such dumb reasons, right? It's such a not natural thing. And then she was called Artoria for so long, and it's like, I get it, right? It is pretty silly, but yeah, I don't give people a hard time. I've had a memes. Yeah, obviously it's different with Hercules and Hercules and things like that because those things kind of naturally had different pronunciations in different regions and over time and stuff, and that's kind of normal. Where it's kind of messed up with the way Artoria happened, but or Ultria happened. But again, it is what it is, and different people call her different things, and that's fine. So to me, I just think Artoria sounds better. That's just all it really is to me. It just sounds way better. And that's what she's been called for so long. I'm just like, sounds better. So, and it's been called that for way longer, so I'll just stick with that. Also, legitimately, a big reason I don't like Ultria is because when I'm looking at it in text, my brain just glosses over a lot of stuff like that, and sometimes my brain reads it as like Attila, right? And like her stupid ass nickname. Like that all the time. So because it's so similar to that, I just find that annoying. And they're both AoE Buster Sabers too, right? So it can be kind of obnoxious. Yeah, I agree. You slap the altar on there, and it's not great. Kill everything! I'm gonna do slow-mo. I wanna see if that fixes the sound effects. Wonder why the sound effects are messed up on this. I'll have to see if I can fix that. Now the sound effects I think are still busted. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to make a big boom right as it hits. I may be out of my mind, but I'm not exactly I don't really use Artoria that much, but well, considering the whole coronavirus situation, Arjuna, I would not recommend it. I like how everyone's trying to open back up like everything's fine when the number of new cases hasn't even gone down. It's like the fuck. It's like the number of new cases literally hasn't even gone down, let alone a lot. And it's just kind of crazy to me. What they did with Gil is they made it so his lip flap would be in either an earlier or later part of the NP, but sync up either way, right? Like the part of the talk of his chant that the lip flap is 4 changes depending on fast mode or slow mo, right? So, but they calculated that to make it work in both, which was kind of funny. But I mean, that was a smart thing to do. Yeah, not only has the number of cases, is not going down, but it generally takes like 2 weeks. Whenever major things happen, you're not going to see it reflected in the numbers for like a week or two, if not more. So all the new cases that are going to come from all the protests and riots, that hasn't hit yet, right? And it's going to be bad, dude. People are dumb as bricks, dude. And it just annoys me because this is going to result in a lot of innocent people dying for literally no reason. Like, it's just stupid. Like, it's not hard to sit your ass at home. Like, seriously. Well, let's not talk about this. I don't think anybody wants to watch streams for coronavirus nonsense. I think there's enough misery from that outside of the stream, so. Although I guess to a degree it is hard to ignore because, it's kind of everywhere. I guess we will take that 70%. crit just because it's NP gain. And it's not like we're gonna get hurt NP, so. Fuck. Well, we got overkill. I mean, I can't monetize these videos anyway because they're going on my alternate channel, which isn't the partner, so I don't really care. That is so dumb, though. The world has gotten so absurdly oversensitive. Like, you literally can't talk about the truth and reality anymore. It's just like, never mind the virus and stuff. People get so upset, like, if you just name true statistics that, like, counteract whatever their dumbass worldview is. Right? Never mind you're not even offering an opinion, you're just giving a fact. And because it contradicts some ridiculous fantasy in their head, they get offended. That's so stupid, man. Like, it's fine for people to disagree with each other. That's fine. But when people start like getting offended by reality, something is wrong with you. Like that's delusion. Bloody snakes, man. I'm sorry, hydras. Actually, I have no idea. They have so many different names for these giant snake guys. I don't know what this one's actual name is. That really is what it is for some people. I think they basically want reality to be what they want it to be and they can't accept. I think one of the best ways to like grow the hell up and be more mature is you basically need to find the best way to determine what reality is and then how to deal with it. And that's how you get happy. You know, it's like being able to deal with whatever reality is as best you can, right? There's always going to be problems. You know, you're always going to have obstacles to overcome. But, you know, you coping with what the truth is the best way to get through life, in my opinion, because, I mean, it's not going away. You know, sticking your head in the sand don't help nobody. Man, I wish I had 20/20 vision. I've always been so annoyed by that because I was born with such bad eyesight. And, you know, I basically can't even see out of one eye. And then my brother had like 15/15 or some nonsense like that. I'm just like, how does this happen? It's like, this isn't fair. I should check my missions and see where we're at, because we've done this stage a good amount of times. It's actually my least favorite part. It's like, yeah, it's, you know, it's annoying to have to deal with just having bad eyesight and stuff like that. There's issues there, but it's not, you know, that big of a deal, you know. Modern science and everything helps, and, but whenever I have to get new glasses made, it takes forever. Like, you know, most people, they get like their glasses and they're ready in a few hours. That is never the case for me. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can come back in like a week or two, and you know, we'll call you. Like that's every time for me because my prescription is so messed up. I like how just everything's leveling. Just everything's leveling. We got Mystic Code, Master, Bond, everything. I'll take it. It might normally take a few weeks. It's actually been a little while since I've had them made, so I don't really remember how long they take. I don't think we beat anything yet. Are we close to beating anything? Shh, Hokusai, I'm talking. Fucking shops, man. I hate how they just say the same dialogue over and over and over again. It does get kind of annoying. Yeah, I guess I'll keep doing this one because I know there's quests to kill giant enemies, so you gotta get that done sometime. So, wait, does this stage even drop the thing that I'm bringing Artoria for? Okay, no. So, we should not be doing that. Let's see. I was paying that little attention, so that was kind of wasteful. Well, we got this Mordred, but they're not on our friends list. But that's the drop, so we'll just try to beat it without an NP. That's gonna be a little wonky. That's gonna be. We'll send them an invite too and see what happens. This is gonna be wonky. Oh, ZDB a shopkeeper. Let's go. His voice is awesome though. It's pretty easy to listen to that. That's sad. There's no... I guess we do this just for the defense buff. And then hope we... Oh, it's only level 9. Look at this scuffed Mordred, man. But, yeah, we don't get the battery. Oh, that's rough, Arjuna. He's scamming on you. I haven't actually seen this costume since they added it. I used it one time for the video, and I've never used it again. So I'm not used to the voice lines at all. I don't mind the costume, it's fine. It's just her armor's way cooler, so. Also, I like her voice lines more. Fuck! Shakespeare dying on wave 1 is pretty bad. But I like her voice lines and stuff better in the regular.
Okay. Ouch. Fire.
Everybody always so happy when Shakespeare dies. What did he ever do to you? What's bad, chat? Doesn't even have any of the skills at rank 10, man. Although this, yeah, who knows? This might not be an old account at all. I'm over here with a level 80 Hercules at 111, so. Really hoping she would have gotten better crit chance than that, but I mean, 1-star last turn and then still's not at 10, so. That's why Mordred's good, by the way. Let me look at that. She just, like, if you had a proper Mordred, you could pretty reliably do that, and you just LOL murder the, you know, mini boss like that, and then you have your NP for the final wave. Now, obviously, this Mordred's not gonna have her NP for the final wave, but that's because of other circumstances. Shakespeare made us suffer in middle school. Even if you don't like his stuff, though, he did contribute a lot to the English language, though. So, still got respect. I actually don't like a lot of Shakespeare's stuff. I think a lot of it really is overrated. I like his comedies. I think his comedies are pretty good, very much so. But I don't care too much for a lot of his like dramas. Some of that though is they're just not my cup of tea. Like they're not really the kind of stories that I would normally like anyway. But I do think there's a lot of like overdone stuff and that kind of thing. But like, I think it's so like, you know, like, and now someone may legitimately not like Shakespeare and have totally legitimate reasons for it. But a lot of people are like trying to be contrarian, right? And that it's like. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh yeah, Shakespeare's trash. He's not, right? He contributed a lot to the English language, and that's very valuable and important and stuff. So I definitely, and I think it's very much worth examining his works because of that. I think a lot of teachers do a bad job of teaching it because they don't focus on, you know, the objective stuff like his what he contributed to the English language. You know, they focus too much on, you know, oh, look how amazing these stories are and how good of literature it is, when a lot of it I don't really think is that good of literature. And even some of that's because it didn't age well, you know, like in its time it was, and that's important, but, you know, by today's standards, I don't think it's that, there's not that much to even talk about outside of, you know, what it just did for literature in general. However, I do legitimately like his comedies, though. That's, you know, subjective, but, I mean, what isn't? Well, a lot's not subjective, but let's not go there. Like, what's not subjective? Well, reality. Nice, 1,000 health there, buddy. Yeah, I mean, in some works, they really are trying to be, you know, put in meaning and metaphor and that kind of thing, but a lot of works aren't. And a lot of people act like you can't understand what a work is about if you don't, like, try to find a bunch of absolute horse shit nuance that isn't actually there, right? And that's kind of, that's just a bad teacher at that point. A lot of times, the really on-the-nose stuff is actually the lessons worth learning and what they're actually gunning for, so... Every time. I think nuance is good, and nuance exists in many things, but also sometimes people search for it where it doesn't exist. Also, I think the way nuance should be done in stories is where if you don't pick up on the nuance right away and stuff, you still get a good story and you're still getting a message that ties into that nuance. And then if you really pay attention or you watch it or read it more than one time and you start seeing other things, you're like, oh, and it relates to the theme, right? You don't want the nuance to be about X and then the main story is about Y. That's stupid. Now, at the same time, though, I do think stories can be about more than one thing, and different characters can embody different ideas and different, you know, themes and stuff, and that's fine. You know, I don't think stories have to be like, oh, this is about one thing and one thing only, and everything in the story has to cater to that. Actually, I don't like that either. I think that's going overboard in that direction. I think it's actually pretty cool when you have a story that's like, this character's embodying these ideas and these themes, and this character's embodying these ideas and these themes, and when those things clash, that can be really awesome, too. So, there's a lot of reasons not to be like that. But, yeah, I don't think you want nuance just there for the sake of nuance. And then, if a story can't tell a good story on its own, and you have to break out the magnifying glass, I think that's a bad story. Yeah, I will wrap up soon. I know we've gone pretty overboard. I was so excited to stream today. You just don't understand. I've been wanting to stream for so long. Although some of my excitement has been killed by the fact that I know I really need to do this event. Okay, you know what we're gonna do, chat? I think what we do is this. When we stream, I'll be doing the main story and just working through that and having and that kind of stuff. And off stream, I'll do the event, unless we get to like major boss fights in the event. I'll stream the major boss fights in the event because that matters. But I think streaming the farming is just fucking boring and nobody cares. Even on a new account, right? Even on a new account that's this week, this is nothing, right? You know, this is a big pile of nothing, right? So yeah, there are some boss fights in this event that are, you know, actually worth a damn and can mess you up and that kind of thing. So I'll try to grab those. But yeah, I think we'll just do the main story mostly and then do farming off stream. That just makes more sense, right? Because when I'm farming like that, I can be watching YouTube or editing a video or eating my lunch or whatever, right? So it's easier for everybody that way. Yeah, but we can talk while we're doing the main story. Now, see, Rex is gonna hate this. This just makes me want to stream longer because I kind of want to just go to New Orleans now. But I do need to make sure we get a nice chunk of this event done because I need command code. Very much I need the CE. I can't pass up on a 50% starting NPCE like that has a damage up on it. You know, that's a staple, right? It's such a staple. That CE specifically actually is not a staple, and it's not nearly as good as some of the other ones. But it's still good enough, and it can fill the role of what the other ones do. So, you know, it'd be stupid to pass it up. Actually, I don't think we have a choice. I mean, I think Kojiro might be like our only assassin right now. So much like the original JP experience, then, you know, leveling was a lot harder and you acquired servants much slower and everything. Everyone used Kojiro. I think we're gonna have to do that too. Oh yeah, there's Sanson. Yeah, we got Sanson and Kojiro. I'll probably level Sanson a little bit. Just level them both. Yeah, I just, if we're gonna be repetitively doing stages like this, I just don't see, I might as well do it off stream. I just don't see any reason to do it. Sad thing is this account doesn't have too many apples. But oh well. That was the only reason I was tempted to get a starter account, but ultimately I want a totally legit vanilla account and all that. But I don't want the SQ, I wanted a starter account just to have a stockpile of apples. that was the only reason. But we're doing this all legit, so. Rip Billy.
へえ、そうなのね。
Yeah, Charlotte's fine. But I don't think we even have her. Although actually we might. Yeah, I think we do actually. I think Kojo's probably better though. It's hard to say. It kind of depends. But they're both fine. I just don't see me leveling her in the long run, because Kojiro peaks, you know, early game Kojiro doesn't have his NP upgrade and all that stuff, but later on he does, where, you know, she doesn't have anything like that. So in the long run, I think he's better to invest in. They're both good enough, though. If you're wanting a budget assassin, they both do that job just fine. So I still haven't, that's it. I think that's the stage we're supposed to be doing now, I'm pretty sure. But, again, we'll just get back to this event later. I do want to show off, though, like I said, like the major fights in the event. I think those will actually be kind of spicy. Alright. Maybe a little bit of FP here, not much. It'd be nice if we could just casually get a 5-star Ember. They're not that rare, to be honest. I mean, they're both reliant on base stats, though. And the thing is, Kojo doesn't have to be that crit reliant because his NP does so much damage because it's upgraded, it's quick, it's single target, and it gives itself a buff, right? Now, granted, as a DP, all DPS as a 1-star is kind of rough if you don't grail them. But, you know, Charlotte's not any different, you know, because she has an unupgraded single target NP, so, and her stats are also bad, so they're both kind of in the same boat there. Where he also has, so they both have survivability, but then he has the crit thing, which yeah, doesn't work as well as a 1-star, but what she has doesn't either. So I think Kojo really is better than her. Like, it's pretty noticeable. However, if you're gonna be like doing, if you have like Tam, maybe you pick Tam as your free 5-star, and you're gonna do all the art team stuff, and you want a budget assassin, then she makes a lot of sense because she's an art unit, right? And that's what Tam works with. Okay, well, we have like fuck all XP right now, but we'll get some from Orleans. So we'll just level up Kojo as best we can, and then we'll go from there. I never tell people to grail based on character or gameplay. I tell them grail on whatever you like, right? You know, what do you care about? Do you because some people just care about gameplay, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's, you know, that's their priority, whatever they care about. And like for me, I grail based on a mix of things, right? You know, character is a very large influence, but then unique gameplay, not necessarily powerful gameplay, but unique gameplay is something I like. But, you know, gameplay definitely factors in things, and just, you know, characters that I think are cool. But yeah, you know, for me, it's a ratio of oh, and for me, it's actually a big part of its rarity. I'm so much more likely to grail something if it's lower rarity. Like, for example, Ku and Mordred. Now, I like Ku more than Mordred, but let's say they were tied. Let's say I liked Ku and Mordred exactly the same. I would grail Ku easily because, you know, Mordred's already a 5-star. She's already got in-game stats, if you will. She already can be like an MVP Saber for you or an MVP AoE unit anyway. You don't need to do anything. Where because Ku's a 3-star, you know, he gets a lot more out of it, right? And if you really want him to be like your, you know, go to the Lancer for your account, you know, you're gonna want to grail him, and that goes for most low stars. And then Ku's abnormally just, you know, scales with grails more than most people, but that's specific to him. Okay, no Hercules. That's banned. Get that shit out of here. But just obviously just for now, but because yeah, a level 80 Hercules would just make this all a joke. I just wish we had George. I really wanted George for the Vlad fight. He actually really helps there. Sadly, it's harder to get George than it used to be. Back in the day, it was pretty easy to get George right away because there just weren't that many 2-stars. So, but now we got a lot more. But I'm glad we have more. It's nice. But for just getting specific, like getting Hans or George early, you know, that's a lot harder to do. All right. There's no story support. Okay. Crap. I'm in a stage on my main account. I was gonna slot like really weak stuff, but I guess I'll just put them in the bag. This is probably a joke battle anyway that like absolutely just does not matter. Like it takes a little while for things to get going. We'll just do that. Wait, no, that. There we go. Excuse me. Honestly, if Jason was leveled, he'd make sense here. Do I have the team? I have a lot more team costs now. Hey! There we go. Getting the big stuff now. Yeah, Robotnik's theme from Sonic Adventure 2. Man, I remember doing Orleans on my first account and seeing Sanson, and I was like, ooh, that's a new character that's not from Fate Zero or Fate Tonight or anything. And he looks cool, and he's hanging out with Lancelot. And I was like, oh, that's... And then, you know, I heard the name, and I was like, oh, I vaguely knew who it was. I hadn't done it at the time, I hadn't looked into it a lot, but I knew. I was like, oh, that's that executioner from the French Revolution, got it. And then I looked into how they did it in Fate and compared it to the real stuff. I was like, oh, wow, they actually did a pretty good job at this. Kind of weird that they fused some of his feats with that of his sons, right? Because he actually didn't kill Antoinette, his son did. So they kind of fused the two together. But they still did a lot of really nice, like, subtle references to Sanson, like how he wanted to be a doctor. And he didn't just want to be a doctor, he was training to become one. And then he got forced into the family business because his father, who was like the royal executioner at the time, became ill. And he was the breadwinner for the family, right? And so Sanson basically had to take up his father's job because he actually didn't like it. He actually didn't want to be an executioner. But yeah, he had to take it up to, you know, make sure the family didn't go bankrupt. Sanson is a super interesting person in history because, you know, then he ended up taking like some pride in what he did because, you know, it's like serving out justice, the will of the people, and all that kind of stuff. But even though it was like dirty work and, you know, he didn't really enjoy killing people, but it was like he understood it was like necessary. And then like because he was like the head executioner, you know, you get invited to like parties and stuff like that, so he knew the nobles and stuff, and like he knew the royal family. But he also spent a lot of time with like the common people and everything, and like he would offer his like services as a doctor and stuff for free to people because, you know, most of the common folk can afford a doctor. So like, you know, he was just in a really weird situation when the revolution happened, right? Where he actually, you know, was, like knew the royals, but then, you know, he really cared about the normal people and everything. So that's him, you know, executing the king and all that. Yeah, it is weird. I think they did the whole fusion with his son for two reasons. One, his son actually shared, you know, him and his son had the same name. And also because Antoinette was going to be in the game, and I think they picked Antoinette to be in the game because she could be a waifu, right? Because Sanson killed Louis, right? Like he killed the king. And so they wanted that connection, right? But they wanted to use Antoinette instead. So I think that's why they did the whole shtick. Oh wait, we're supposed to... I feel like we'll wait just a little bit. I feel like we need to be able to like at least have someone's like evasion skill and stuff to fight Hercules. Or just get George. I think if we had George, we'd be alright. But the only way I can see us fighting Hercules right now is if we cheesed it. And I don't want to cheese it, so... Like, I'm definitely gonna try to do him early. I don't want to be like really high level at all. But like we have like no options for him at all right now. See, the good book is actually nursery rhyme. Oh, excuse me, I'm over here looking at chat and I needed to hit the skip button. I don't mind Antoinette. She's not like my favorite, but she's fine. Doesn't really bother me. I mean, Kojiro, his first skill is an evade, but that Kojiro at level, you know, 20 or whatever ain't gonna do jack shit to Hercules. That's just gonna be devastation. And I just don't want to waste the AP right now. See, I feel like then we should be doing Septum today. Oh my god, we have Atalante here without her third skill. Like, the whole thing with Atalante is like, out of the box, her MP gain is trash, right? But then she can actually get really good MP gain through, you know, her really short cooldown Star Absorb, so she's critting with art cards. And then her third skill gives her a 3-turn MP gain up, right? And this culminates in, you know, actually pretty good MP gain. But out of like the box vanilla like this, is not good. It is not good at all. Why can't you have her hair from her stage 2 with the not poofy sleeves of stage 1? Alright, who got that, right? Nope. Level 10, by the way. So I remember for fun, when my brother didn't know much about FGO when he got into it, but he'd like seen some of my videos and stuff, and he watched Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night and stuff. But like gameplay-wise, he didn't know too much about it. But when he played it, you know, he's like me, he doesn't like to cheese things and that kind of thing. He was like, I'm not gonna level a single unit until I have to. And I think he made it to Oceanus, I'm pretty sure, without ever leveling anything. It took a while, right? Like some of the stages would take a while, but he was like, he got George a lot, and so he used like taunts. And he also didn't summon things to carry him, he would use story supports and that kind of thing. And I remember he got really far without ever leveling. It was pretty funny. But he was like, he said, I remember it was getting pretty frustrating because a lot of times he'd get a setup that would work, it would just take a long time just because the damage, like by the end of like Septum and stuff, your damage output at level 1 is just so bad that everything is like stupid tanky. Wait, I'm not, oh shit, I wasn't bringing Hercules. It's like, I guess Hercules has to be on every fucking team. Gotta get that bond 10, man. That was a big fuck up. I was all like, yeah, we don't want to use Hercules, but we need that bond. Guys, that's gonna be the 2 stages that stop us from getting bond 10. Like that clearly that's that was the one there. Oh god, our assassin situation is not great. Honestly, I think Ushi's probably better than any of the assassins that we have. Alright. I need to limit break some of these other attack CEs. You don't even like Herc, yeah. That's actually though how like me and my brother played a lot of games. We'd never really like cheesing stuff and cheating or over leveling or whatever. Like it's just that's never really been a thing that we found all that fun. 11k, oh man, danger though. Dude, I'm telling you though, back when this first came out, nobody would be leveled right now because they didn't have dailies, and like you got FP way slower. FP didn't have as much XP in it. Like most people, when they did Orleans way back in the day, they were really fucking low level when they got to this guy and stuff. That's why Kojiro got the whole Savior of France title, because most people couldn't roll much, so they didn't have like a random assassin, and there really weren't even 3-star assassins back then, really, because like 100 Face and Serenity weren't in the game yet. But yeah, Kojiro was like the one thing you could get like relatively easy. See what kind of damage Fergus can get here. He's got the only big boy CE. Yeah, I'd imagine a lot of people on JP were level 1 for this stage still. And you didn't even get a tutorial summon back then. You didn't get a 4-star. NA did, but JP didn't. Look at that. That's a decent amount of bond. It adds up. Obviously, compared to like a modern stage, that's nothing, but... Yeah, Kojo's animations are pretty nice. Maybe we grail Kojiro. We'll have plenty of grails, especially if we do Epic of Remnant, so... Like I said, I'm probably not going to grail too many things to 100, if any. I'm probably going to just grail a lot of things to 90. Level 5 Billy, man. What do I even say about that? The CE doesn't really... This doesn't do too much. Not a lot I can give her is going to do anything, though. If I had green quick keys, I would do that. I only got blue. Oh man, it's boar time. You probably will grail Ku, probably maybe to 80 or 90. I don't think, definitely not 100, because as much as I like Ku, I've got him 100 on multiple accounts. It'd just be stupid to do that again. I don't know, I like Ku a lot though. It's really nice to be able to bust out the big boy Ku. The thing is, once we get to the point in the game where the game is hard enough where I think it's fair to use a level 100 Ku, I could just summon my Ku from my other account. Although I could have 2 of them though. See, that's the big brain play is you get 2 level 110 Kus, right? I like how turn 1 of our quick up buff goes into a turn where she had no quick up, or no quick cards. And then if we switch stages, we lose a turn of it there too. It's such a bad CE, man. Still, no quick cards. And then we're gonna switch fields and we lose a turn. That's pretty bad. Nice of Rex though to sing this chant for us. Another 11k guy. Guys, look, we're getting the value. We're getting the value, chat. Double quick up, attack up, neutral class though. I don't know why I'm doing that. We should be fine. Although no one has a buster card. I'm gonna roll the dice. Man, when you can't one-shot an 11k enemy, like not even close, like not even the ballpark. It's like it takes a second. On 3! Requiem, oh man, that was not a great event. A lot of free loot though, a lot of free loot. Okay, we get Dragon Bangs here. Too bad we don't have a Mordred to give those to. Alright, let me slot some like... Oh wait, we have story supports now, excuse me. Level 20? Oh damn. I actually need a Berserker, but I can't use Hercules. And everything else is so low level. Oh no! Self-stun, yeah. I'm gonna be real quick. I'm gonna grab like a granola bar. Eat something. All right. Man, I wish we could get Caligula's voice lines from Lost Belt 5. I think it's such a shame that they recorded that and didn't give it to us. I don't why. I don't get it. Yeah, story support's got C's now. Kojiro's crit sound effect is so loud, dude. Like, calm down, boy. Hey, Tab, what's up? Just making my ears bleed with these crit sound effects. Every time I use Kojiro in a video, I always turn his, like every time he does a crit, I always turn the sound down a bit. Or actually a lot, I turn it up quite a bit. Story supports just get a generic 50% starting NP, 50% NP gain up. Which, for supports, is actually really good. You know, for a DPS, you probably want a damage up, you know, aspect, but for support, it's super strong because you know, get your NP quickly, and then you get repeat NPs at a good rate. Yeah, it doesn't have stats though. Yeah, there's still a lot of drawbacks to it. Like it's if we had it, I don't think it'd be used as much as you might think, but it would be used by supports definitely, but like never by DPS. Outside of like wanting to maybe do scatty looping. Oh wow, we already have 10 Lancer gems. Okay. The Evolve. Yeah, we don't have Mozart yet. That's crazy, dude. I like all this FP though. Three waves on this one. Caligula might just be level 4, but he's doing work. Clearing out the trash, man. Okay, we're not gonna get a lot done this turn though. Wow. Yep, no. Nope, okay. Very strong, much wow. Okay. Gotta be optimal here. Probably should not have done his attack buff then. Come on, come on, come on, come on! Fuck! I should have done his first kill. Do you seriously think I don't know how bond works in this game? I've been playing FGO for a minute. I'm pretty aware of how bond works in this game. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I think this is the right thing to do. Like I have many servants at Bond 10. I know how Bond works. Caligula hanging in there, man. Alright, I need to stop eating and actually play the damn game. See, this is where I should have used his first skill. Big damn. Yeah, her MP is so much better now. Huge buff. Ugh, 4 Saber Gens. Nasty. First thing I'll get with Rare Prisms is Anniversary Blonde. I think the first boss is Vlad, and he actually can kill your guys pretty quick if they're low level. Swear, I really wish I had George. Like, right now we're fine, but I might get a little nasty in a minute. By the way, stage 1 Kojiro is the best stage. I'm just saying. Coming on Anniversary Blonde now feels bad. Rip Vlad. I always say though, even though Vlad is not really that good of a 5-star, if you like him, you know, you can make him work. Although on the flip side, if you really don't like him, then easy money, so... You never know though, maybe someday they buff the shit out of him and he's way better. It could happen. Hmm. I mean, I don't mind stage 3 Kojiro or stage 2 Ku. They're not my favorites, but I don't see anything wrong with them. Honestly, the Kojiro stage I think is the weirdest is stage 2 because it's just his stage 1 but a different color for some fucking reason. And it's not like the whole thing is different color, only part of it, right? So it's like, why? I really don't get why people, I mean, actually not that many people, but I always see people hating on stage 2 Ku and I don't really get it. Like, have you seen what Celts wore into battle half the time? Like, it's like, it's not crazy at all. You know, waifus get to run around without clothes on, and everybody's fine with that. But then Ku goes shirtless and everyone loses their mind. I call bullshit. I'm like a 70% crit chance here. Get him! Get him! I don't really have an issue with Ku's hair either way. I think, you know what, just for the style. We don't get the quick up though. Look how sad that is. There's no quick up before the NP. But my damage. Also, I like how we have NP1 Kojiro, but our Ku is already NP2. Fate man. I love his NP. I probably am going to grill Kojiro some. Like, 100 face is obviously the way to go for assassins, but like, it'd be pretty cool to have a Kojiro, man. Let's be real, chat. The coolest looking Ku is Proto Ku. I think this is Vlad. Hold on. Also, I really want George, but what are you gonna do? It's funny that I'm limit breaking this thing, but I mean, it's actually worth a damn right now. I definitely like Curse Arm more than Serenity. I guess one prototype servant that I'm not crazy about. I don't like a hater design or anything, but it ain't that great. I just feel like it's, you know, it's very simple, and that's fine. You know, they're assassins, it makes sense. But I think for that kind of look, I just like the way Curse Arm does it better. Got the cool, like, desert cape thing going on. I'm kind of worried that a lot of people are going to die, and then Hercules will show up, and then we cheat, which I don't want. He's kind of over leveled. I feel like we shouldn't use Uchi or Fergus for this. He's too much. I have like no starting MP right now because we don't have Imaginary around. We don't have K-Scope, don't have Ley Line. This is where I'd give George Battle of Kimlan and just be happy with it. I feel like Kojiro's pretty likely to fight the big one because, well, we'll see. What do I even give him? I guess. Nothing like a good book. This is a scuffed team. If we get down to a Hercules is the only thing left, we lose and we have to quit because I'm only bringing him for the bond. Yeah, we don't have a 5-star yet. I'm kind of looking forward to whatever our first SSR is. It might be a while though, because I don't know how much we're gonna roll early on. We'll see. I think we go for Kojiro's NP. Thought about quick chaining, but nah. Why aren't you Lancer, Vlad, you bastard? Wow. At least he didn't do it to Kojiro, but that was fucked. That was super fucked. He almost has his NP already. Game, please. Watch him do it again. Guys, this is actually kind of exciting. I kind of want Kojiro to evade in case he quick charges into his NP and targets Kojiro. It's totally possible. Not likely. Yep. I don't need to save Nash later. See, if I just had a ley line, I'd have my NP right now. It's a big deal. That was such terrible turn order. That was such terrible turn order. You noob. He did an auto attack, then quick charge, and he has no actions left because he only has 2 actions per turn. He should have quick charged, then impede, right? That'd been way better. And he keeps NP draining Mash. Creepy old man, dude. At this point, I feel like just mashing normal card damage would have been better. Hey Kojiro, your NP game might be shit, but you can make ours good. That is not Kojiro. Dude, he did vampirism on Mash again. What the hell, man? Can I get Kojiro's NP, please? What is wrong with this man? Also, rip coup. That's what happens when you don't have protection from arrows. I like how the deck just shuffled in a way that makes it even harder for me to get Kojiro's NP. Just get the triple slash thingy, my boy. We could have just killed him by now if we were doing big normal card damage. The book! Just in case it quick charges. The deck shuffled again, and I still can't get Kojiro's. You gotta be kidding me. Hercules solo soon. Yeah, in that case, I have to restart. Lucky yes, we don't have to use Hercules because we got her NP. Alright. I swear, the deck just kept shuffling in ways that made it so Kojiro couldn't get NP game. And then Vlad didn't NP Kojiro like a dick. We definitely would have won by now if we just did normal card damage. He's only got 4k health left. Vlad, why are you like this? I feel like I don't think he's attacked Kojiro the entire game. And obviously you get a lot of NP from being attacked. Like I don't think he did it ever. Read a book, you dumbass. See, that's why he's doing bad turn order, because he didn't read any books. Well, guys, we got our NP now. That was very disappointing. Reading Rainbow, let's go. Oh, I kind of want to Grail Nurse Rhyme as well. I mean, she was our like technical tutorial summon. You fight him again later. I think he's a bit harder then, so maybe it'll be better. He did kill 2 people though. He didn't go down like a bitch. He took 2 people out. We don't really have a caster worth using right now. No wait, what am I saying? Full of shit, man. Everyone needs Bond, dude. So many strengthening quests to be done down the line. Like, so many. I love chat right now. Oh. This is a boss. This isn't good. This is that other thing, bad. That's the one. Okay, well. Fuck it, we're Grailing Nursery Rhyme. We're at least Grailing her to 90. That's just gonna happen. I kinda wanna call this the Reading Rainbow account. If we get Nursery Rhymes NP, we'll be fine. Okay, the ads really screw her here because if she quick charges, she can't NP because she doesn't get another action because you get 3 actions total and they each get 1. So keeping the ads alive here actually is very helpful to us. So I'll use Mash's skill next turn to block the NP potentially, and then give her more NP charge. Yeah, they buffed her. I'm just gonna do this to Mash, that way the deck doesn't get shuffled, because I don't want to deal with that. Man, getting NPs is so much harder early game because you don't have skills and you don't have starting NPCs. So those 2 things combined is a bit rough. But like the bosses are actually doing things. How about that? I just knocked something over. Thankfully, it doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. That's what we want to see. She hit the only male. Yeah, I know. Anti-female NP ignores both females. So really, we have a female, a male, and a book. Let's be honest about this. Yeah, it'd be cool if they updated the old stories. You know, they don't want to put in that much time, but you could do some you give them vanilla break bars and really vanilla gimmicks. One, it gets people used to that kind of thing, and I just think that'd be fun. So, see ya, Finn. Again, thank you for all the subs, man. I feel like nursery rhyme working with Moriarty results in nursery crime. And it's basically this NP, but then at the end there's the giant fucking blue laser that like blows up everything. Someone needs to edit that, by the way. I mean, the servant that I probably wanted the most that I've never gotten, at least on my main account, would be Hercules, which is why I re-rolled for him over here. Funnily enough, though, I didn't need to re-roll for him because I just got him right away, but yeah, I've always wanted Hercules, and I never got him on my main. Feels bad. Most of the time, though, if I really want something, it's either a 3-star, or I just save up until I have a fucking stupid amount of SQ, and then there's basically no way I don't get them. I mean, I had almost 3,000 SQ saved up over 2 years or some shit for Canis, right? So there wasn't a lot of options to not get it. I'm kind of lucky in that I don't generally want that many 5-stars that come out each year. So it's so easy for me to save up. Like, it's not a big deal at all. It's okay, she just gotta, you gotta refurbish the cover a bit, Gotta keep your books in good shape, Damn it, Mothman, stop burning books, indeed. Oh, Lost Belt 3. Yeah, I did get MP5 Canis quite easily. I think it took like 540 SQ, and then I rolled for Romulus. Oh my god, that was really frustrating though, because I got Romulus in 30 SQ, but I was like, okay, I'll go for NP2, right? I don't need higher than that. 5 stars perform incredibly well at NP2, that's good enough. So, I got NP1 at 30 SQ, and then I didn't get NP2 for 640 SQ, so I ended up using like just over 1,000 SQ between the two of them. But I still have a fuckload left over, because not only had I not rolled in forever, but I mean, I don't see myself rolling anytime soon. Probably not until Lost Belt 6, unless they randomly are like, we added Butch Cassidy or Henry V, and they're not lollies. So, but yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Hell, if they ever did add Henry V, Lost Belt 6 would be a time they might do it, really. So, I just want to see, I think this is a filler stage. I've literally never summoned someone that I'm following, and that's my main account right there. I just want to, I think they get like bonus starting NP or something, and I just want to see. This stage, I don't think is a stage I would have any trouble beating anyway, so I just want to take a peek. Oh yeah, I love Romulus, although I still don't have the Lancer gems. No, he doesn't get extra starting NP. I thought I read something about that. Is it better NP gain or something? I don't even know. I thought there was some kind of bonus for being a follow servant that they normally wouldn't have. Maybe I'm just crazy. Is that you can use? Oh, that's right. You can use their NP, right, and they're not being on your friends list. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, literally, this is the first time I've ever used a followed servant. This stage does look pretty easy, but the total health is actually a bit higher than you might have expected, so kind of wish I did it for real, but I don't want to quit and waste AP. That's so sad. Oh, damn it. It's sad when you do a brave chain, and you don't kill it. Especially, they have like, 4,000 health, but, level 13, what do you want? Like, our protection from arrows is back. And, it's the original one's not gone. This is gonna be like the most unnecessary bulk of all time. Also, great turn there, champ. we got like Mystic Code level 4 buff or something. It's not that full. Damn it, Ku! I wanted to see the damage at neutral. I was all like, he's level 100, he's got an upgraded NP, it's single target quick. We have the golden sumo at level 100, and then the really shitty Mystic Code buff, but at least it's something, right? And nope, insta-death. I'm actually kind of salty right now. Okay. Back to for realsies here. I know he's a little bit over-leveled, but not that bad. What's up, homies? I like how that's like all everyone says for her now. She's a puffy hat and a meme. I did find that rather funny though. Seizure horse, yeah. I need to add more Tales of music to the playlist, like a lot more. Pretty fitting for generic battles. Yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance we'll get Morgan. No telling what class she'd be. I mean, they do weird stuff with that all the time. But I feel like it's time. I feel like if they don't add her at that point, I think people would be pissed. And I think rightfully so. Because, I mean, she's been in the lore for so long. We've talked about her so many times. And she's almost been in so many stories. And then she was in the APOC anime and everything. And then we have a story that's probably set in Camelot. So it's like, in like actual Camelot, opposed to the Camelot Singularity we have now, where it's not Camelot at all. Yeah, so yeah, if they don't do it, it'd be kind of lame. Like, I'm not even a huge Morgan fan, but I'm like, yeah, this makes too much sense not to do it. Like how often we get Kojo to 50 NP, so it's like if we had Leyline, we'd be good. Man, we don't have Robin yet. We're totally giving Robin the Mystico. What am I saying? We're giving Robin the CE from the event, like, a lot. Because, you know, makes a lot of sense with him, especially if you're working with Mozart, so you get the guaranteed art crits and stuff. It's going to be good. Also, if y'all could stop beating the piss out of Kojo, that would be great. Maybe I should have taken that 40% crit there. Wow. I've always said I would really like, because they've said, and this is, you know, fitting for what it's based on. You know, Morgan is basically tied with Merlin in terms of ability and overall. Oh, their abilities aren't the same necessarily, but like their overall power is about the same. And that matches, you know, actual legends. I've always said I would like them to do a kit like Merlin's, but with debuffs, and it's actually very doable. And it's apples and oranges in which one's better, right? Like if the enemy is like Abigail and they remove all of your buffs before NP damage, and there's several bosses like that now, then, you know, debuffs are way better because the boss removes your buffs. It doesn't remove its debuffs. So instead of giving invulnerability to the team like Merlin does, you would have Morgan do 100% NP damage down for a turn, or 100% attack down for a turn. Because you might say, oh, that's so strong though, but like, I mean, so is invulnerability, right? LOL, the entire team takes no damage, right? So I think, you know, like an AoE 100% attack down to all enemies, but only for one turn, it'd be pretty fair. Because that's worse against enemies that have debuff clears or have high debuff resistance, right? Let's say you've got a ruler boss or something, or they just have a gimmick where they're immune to debuffs. There's plenty of bosses, like God Juna, just immune to debuffs. And a situation like that, then Merlin's better, because Merlin does, you know, a buff, and the enemy being debuff immune doesn't matter. So like there's some nice apples and oranges there. And instead of doing a NP battery for the team, she could do NP drain for the enemy. And that's, you know, NP drains are actually pretty nice sometimes. They don't get seen much in like the meta because the meta is winning in 3 turns, but fuck that. Also, you know, most players are never going to be able to do that. Anyway, you know, and instead of, you know, crit up, she could have a really big crit down. The NP would be the hardest thing to find like a debuff version of, but I think you could definitely do it. And, you know, all the effects don't have to be perfectly mirrored, you know, but the general vibe of the kit, I think you could mirror pretty well with debuffs. You don't want to change a few things for balance and also just for practicality, but yeah, I really like that idea. I mean, the thing is, Merlin's hamstrung by bosses that have buff removal, right? But that's not any more common than a boss with deep buff immunity. So I don't think that's really a big deal. Like, all units have times that they're good and bad. You know, yeah, some units are you know, better more times than not, absolutely. But it's not like having a debuff version of Merlin. And like I said, you can change some stuff. You can make her NP really unique and maybe have nothing in common with Merlin's. You know, so you can still make it where they offer something useful even if the boss is immune to debuffs or whatever. That's how they handle most units like that. But it's like there's plenty of 5 stars and 4 stars and everything else where it's like, yeah, they're really good unless the boss does this, this, or this, right? That's super common. So it's not, I don't think it's a problem to have another 5-star like that. And you could give her, to make it like a bit more consistent, you know, you give her, you know, territory creation and all that stuff, right? So you make her debuff success chance over 100%. So unless the enemy is like a ruler with a fuckload of debuff resistance, you're not going to just get random magic resists that screw you over. And then you make it where the one thing she's, you know, weak against is debuff immunity. But then you could bring a buff, you know, removal guy to get rid of their buff removal, unless it's a gimmick that you can't remove. But at that point, that's how it's supposed to be. So it's just like some bosses have permanent pierce invulnerability, right? Or even, you know, heal down and stuff like that. And, you know, like, to be fair, you know, I would make it so, you know, Morgan has other things going for her, too. Yeah, it's because she's, you know, Reigns is good, she's just not, like, you know, God tier. She's just okay. And most people that are using 5-star supports want the, you know, absolute most broken nonsense, you know, Nero Bride, Waver, you know, double Scatty, that kind of thing. But yeah, I kind of suspect they're gonna make Morgan pretty unique and not really like anything else or something like that. I don't know if they're gonna actually, because they talked about, you know, in Fate that she is, you know, like on par with Merlin, but that doesn't mean they're gonna give them kits that are necessarily that similar. Probably should change my CEs around a little bit there, but oh well. Yeah, I don't think they'd make her a 4-star. Although I'm so surprised they made Canis a 5-star. I still don't understand that, other than the whole Romulus thing, which that's the only reason I can think of, is because Romulus was like set in stone that he was going to be a 5-star AoE Lancer, and they didn't want 2 5-star AoE Lancers rated up back to back like that. Which legitimately, they probably would have lost money if they had done that, but it is weird that Canis was, you know, in the story for like 2 years before she was summonable. They hyped her up a lot. She was crazy important in the story. She had loads of screen time, and she's the final fucking boss. And she was just so, like, she was so all over the place in the story, like, and then she was just, you know, she's really, really powerful lore-wise, and like I said, they hyped her up a lot, but then like, lol, 4-star. And then the twins, which aren't in the story nearly as much, aren't a half as important. And I don't think lore-wise they're as strong either. The only reason they beat up Canis was because Canis had already been wrecked by Orion, and Canis wasn't full power there either. So it's like, it's really weird to me. Did make her easier to get though, but I would have, honestly, I had so much SQ that I was going to get her no matter what. So I would have preferred having the better animation quality of a 5-star. Would have been better, but it's just been so long since I've actually gunned for like a new 5-star. Most of the 5-stars that I gun for are old units, right? They've been in the game for a while. I don't generally. It's pretty rare that they like put out a 5-star and I'm like, oh, I want that, right? That doesn't happen much. Did happen with Romulus though, but out of Lancer Gems, so it feels bad. I don't really want to make like a big Romulus like solo video or anything like that until I get him 10-10-10. So lottery, please. Oh yeah, I would have rolled both of them were 5-stars too, but a lot of people don't, and people get mad when they do stuff like that. Like, I honestly just can't, it just doesn't, I don't get why they did it otherwise, because like, first I thought maybe she's just not going to be in the story that much, right, like after 5-1, but then she was like super center stage, so I'm like, and then she was even the final boss, so I'm like, I don't understand. Hey, it was pretty weird, but they also said Canis had been designed, I think like, before FGO even launched. Like, she's been a thing they were wanting to do like forever, and the artist did the art a long time ago, and they may have just arbitrarily decided way back then that she was just going to be a 4-star, and then so they just stuck with that. But I mean, who knows? We'll probably never know. I doubt that's something they're going to talk about. I don't really need her NP, but whatever. I think Percival has a decent shot of getting in, but I wouldn't hold your breath on any of the Knights of the Round because there's already so many in the game. They could easily be like, oh yeah, we've already done so many, we don't want to do any more, right? Like, that could definitely happen. I think if they do one though, Percival has got a pretty good shot. Him and Agravain, and they even said a long time ago that they planned on adding Agravain eventually, so that'll probably happen. I don't know why I put Joan of Arc's last there. But yeah, Agravain and Percival I think have the best chances, and then Kay's up there. The reason I say Percival has a good chance is because one, he is very famous, and two, they've mentioned him so many times in FGO and in other Fate stuff. And even Gareth, Gareth isn't that old of a unit, and she mentions him, and even kind of does a wink wink nudge nudge thing. It's like, oh, maybe he could actually get the real Grail, like Galahad did, and stuff like that. Like, so I don't know. I feel like they're laying the groundwork for potentially putting him in there. So that could definitely happen. And I think Sir Kay is somewhat likely too, just because Sir Kay is actually really popular. He's been detailed a lot in the other Fate works and stuff. Like, we already know loads about him. And people seem to like him. The only reason I think Kay might not happen is one, just because there's already a lot of Knights of the Round, and two, because of Ad with Gray, right? Because Ad is like based on Kay. They're actually pretty different, but because of that, they're like, oh yeah, we already have Kay, right? And it's like the whole we have Sir K at home, right? And then it's just Gray and Ad, right? So yeah, he might not make it in either, but we'll see. I hope a lot of them make it in. I want Borst. I want Sir Borston. He's awesome. And he's been mentioned in Fate a little bit, but not nearly enough to where I don't think he's really on their radar. Although sometimes they do random ass nonsense. They added Ricky Boy and Lost Belt 5. I don't think anybody, predicted that at all. I think most people didn't even realize he existed because he's just like in a poem and he's like a side character in a poem and it's not even that famous of a poem, right? So, yeah, I don't think anyone saw that coming. That was one of the few characters they added to Fate. I was like, who the fuck is that? When I saw his name for the first time, I was like, I don't know who that is. Like, I know history pretty well. And so normally I at least have a vague recollection of what someone is, right? But when I saw his name, I was like, I don't know what the hell that is at all. I had no idea. But he's the best, so it all worked out. Little John? I don't know. They don't seem to care too much about like those other legends like that. It's so lame because globally, never mind America. I mean, like, and just Europe and North America and a lot of other areas of the world too, honestly. Blackbeard, Robin Hood, those things are super known. Shakespeare's even super known and stuff. And it really annoys me how little love FGO gives to some of these just huge names. Blackbeard is the pirate, right? There's no way around this. This is irrefutable that Blackbeard is the most famous pirate, period. And in a universe where like fame affects things a lot and all that stuff, it's kind of silly that Blackbeard has so little focus and is basically just a joke character. But so yeah, I hate to say it because I'd love it, but I don't really expect to see any of the Robin Hood characters. I think at most, because we confirmed this forever ago, because there's all these different legends and different people that might have been Robin Hood and yada yada yada, that there's a bunch of different servants that all fall under quote-unquote Robin Hood, right? But they're different people with different legends and, that kind of thing. And that's pretty reasonable based on real life. But, so I think we might see like a gender-bent Robin Hood or a space Robin Hood, some other take. It's not even like Robin Hood wearing different clothes, but I mean like literally a different Robin Hood. Definitely a gender-bent Robin Hood might happen. But anyway, I don't think you're going to see like the Sheriff Nottingham or Little John. We should. I've said this before, I want a singularity that's just like Robin Hood based, right? We can have all these other singularities based on all kinds of random bullshit. Why can't we have singularities that are like, yeah, remember this one servant that's been in the game? Let's make a singularity all about their stuff, their stories, their country, why not? Why not? There's so much to pull from so many characters. You could make like an all pirate one and stuff like that, or a Robin Hood one, or there's so many like that you could do, and it would just let them add all kinds of cool characters and see a side of the Fateverse that you normally only get tiny little peeks at. Because normally you get like one or two characters from a legend, and then you get like little nuggets of information about the other things in that legend, but you never get to see it. And FGO is such a good example, such a good place for them to kind of expand on those things and get to like visit things that otherwise you wouldn't necessarily get to make a full anime out of or make a book out of. But you could easily make it work in like an event or in a singularity or whatever in the game. Like easily. Why can't we have a Nottingham singularity for an event? That'd be great. I think if we ever do see more stuff from Robin Hood though, it's probably just alternate versions of Robin Hood and maybe the Sheriff. Maybe, but I don't think they would do Little John. Which is lame, but I think it's very unlikely. You never know. They throw curveballs, and they even say sometimes they like to do things that they think people would never expect them to add. That's why they sometimes just add off-the-wall random nonsense. Like Ricky Boy. But yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. The Writer Caesar would be nice. That might happen. That seems, he's super famous. But I don't know, that doesn't seem to mean much to them. If you're not Japanese or Chinese, it doesn't seem to hold much water. Like, it's really noticeable now if you look at the roster, if it breaks it down by like country or legend. They super favor Japan and China. And China because China is just this huge market that basically everyone wants to cater to because there's just so much money there. And I'm fine with demanding a bunch of Chinese servants, that's fine. But like, I also want a bunch of other servants too, right? Yeah, the lack of Sinbad sucks, man. That definitely needs to be in. The 40 Thieves. Obviously, I don't think they put in all 40, but oh, you can make a unit like 100 Face though. That would be pretty badass. And then Midas. I want Midas. That would be really cool. There's so, oh my god, there's so much you could do with his NP, man. Oh my god, you could have so much fun with that, dude. You could give him, like, this could be such a gimmick, but this could be so fun. You could have, like, a team-wide invulnerability skill or a targeted invulnerability skill. It doesn't have to be team-wide. You could have him target someone. But then he touches them and turns them to gold. And so they're invulnerable that turn. And you could give it, like, some pretty crazy benefits or a low cooldown, but then they're stunned for that turn, right? Because you turned them to gold, right? But but you have to make it where it pays for itself, right? Where you get a really nice benefit from it. But that'd be pretty cool. Then its NP could turn the enemies into gold, and then obviously no benefits. Stuff like that. There's a lot of fun you could have. I really like when they get really crazy with the gimmicks though on units. When units feel like a boss character almost, with how wacky their gimmicks are. Like King Potato Chips is such a good example of that, right? That was such a well thought out character. I really wish they had that kind of fun with things more often. Touch your silver servant to make them gold. They just free grails, obviously. Yeah, there's not a lot of Spanish servants. There's a few, but you know, not a lot. And Hungary is getting pretty scuffed. I'm surprised they didn't do more Russian stuff, like Catherine the Great or something, because that's a really famous figure in history. Kind of a shithead, but you know. Oh yeah, Cortez. That's one they should do. That's a pretty famous one. There's still so many things they haven't done, but oh my god. I get so annoyed with them sometimes because it's like they just ignore all these real female legends and stuff, and then they gender bend the male ones. It's like, how about you actually do the actual female legends first? And then they use stuff like Cleopatra as a joke servant for one event and never again. Like, what is that? Cleopatra is so famous, and they barely used her for anything, right? And she's only like a half-serious character. At least she's not a full-on joke character, but like she's only kind of like a half-serious character, and then she's never used for anything. I don't understand. Like I just it's insane to me. Like we need like Lagartha and like Bloody Mary, you know, Catherine the Great. Like there's so, and then God, there's like 7 female pirates that they could have done, and instead they gender bent Drake. It's like, why though? See, what's sad about the Yuri pirates is if they had been added today, they would have had way better animations. There's so much, they're so much more willing to give good animations to new characters, even if that new character is going to be niche, than they are to give new animations to an old character that they actually put effort into. If you look at a lot of animation updates, they're actually really lazy. Like, they make the sprite look good, but then there's hardly any animation in the sprite, and they're just moving it around and stuff. There's a lot of that. And it's because they don't want to put as much effort into it. They don't animate nearly as many frames as they would for a new character. And it's because they can't monetize them. They're like, well, yeah, anyone that wanted Yuri Pirates by now probably already has them. And yeah, there's maybe a few new players that want them that don't have them, and maybe a few people want a higher MP rank. But like, if you do an animation update for them and then rate them up, they're gonna make some money, but not that much. Not nearly as much if they just randomly add some, you know, other random 4-star. Now, I'm not defending them. I think that's a terrible mindset, because I think, you know, player retention and keeping your player base happy is what makes people willing to actually stick with the game, get friends to play the game, and actually some people will put money into the game. Happy player base is very important for the longevity of an IP. And I honestly feel like FGO has made so many mistakes and they manage things so badly that the only reason this game didn't go under is because of the Fate franchise. That's literally the only reason. Yuri Pirates are the first NP5 I got while never rolling for them, excuse me. Feels bad. Yeah, I've had a few things like that where you just keep getting something and you're not even rolling on the rate ups. I got them a long time ago, but I burned them because I don't care about them. They do have interesting gameplay though, especially their summer version. I think their summer version is a lot more fun than their regular version, just because the gimmick works so much better on them. Like their gameplay is really similar, but the Archer one is just way more practical, like just a million times more practical, and it's actually good. Like it's actually like, hey, this ain't bad. Where the Rider one, it's like, it's okay, but there's so many better units. Hopefully these archers don't ruin everything. Oh man, there's a lot of things from the Guda Guda events I want. I want Maxwell's Demon. Man, his design is awesome, and then when I looked up like how they did his NP and stuff, it's so good. It matches his actual, you know, what he's based on really well. And for the people who don't know, so Maxwell's Demon is not Maxwell. Hence the name Maxwell's Demon, right? It's not Maxwell. But his creator, which I forget his name. It's something Maxwell. I forgot what I always forget what his first name is. I think it starts with a C, or his middle name starts with a C. I can't remember. Anyway, he basically made a thought experiment. Is it Clark? I don't know. I think Clark is his middle name or something. James Clark? Is it James Clark Maxwell? Whatever. Anyway, he had a thought experiment basically trying to get a way around the laws of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics, excuse me. And it basically involved a theoretical, quote-unquote, demon to kind of interact with things in a way to make infinite energy, basically. Because, you know, second law of thermodynamics is basically, you know, if you throw a ball, it loses speed over time, right? You know, the sun burns out eventually. You know, energy, you know, if it's not being affected by an outside source, eventually, you know, dies. You know, and gets weaker and weaker. And so Maxwell's Demon is basically named after this thought experiment, right? And his NP is basically a way to have infinite energy, right? It basically can make unlimited magical energy, but it's weaker if it's like in an era where the thought experiment had been figured out, right? So it kind of depends on when he's summoned and stuff, depends on how powerful he is. And he also has a skill that we actually don't know what it does. It's EX ranked, but they never detailed what it does, which kind of sucks. But yeah, then his design fits the era he's from, and has like kind of that sleek but sleazy shitbag look, which is perfect for what he is, right? Like, it's great. Like, it's great. And then he's green. He's wearing a green suit. Like, let's go. Like, I really do want Maxwell's Demon in the game pretty bad, but I don't think it's going to happen. And they've been so behind lately, like with the coronavirus stuff and who knows what else, that I don't think it's going to happen. We'll do chat versus FGO mostly on NA is what we'll do, and I gotta get the plugin and see how it works exactly, but I'm pretty sure I know how to do it for the most part, so that'll definitely happen at some point. I'm really looking forward to NA fighting Zeus, and we do chat versus Zeus, and I like ban Waver, and then it'll be great. Yeah, it's definitely possible that they were originally going to do the Guda final rerun later. I actually think it's very likely because the timing was really weird. It came out a lot sooner than it should have. And it was kind of at a time where we knew they were behind. And so I think they kind of just threw that out early. So it would have been a real shame if it was supposed to come out later and the rerun was supposed to come with a new character. Like, they do that sometimes. You know, King Potato Salad came out with his TCC rerun. Dear Mud Saber came out with the Zero rerun, you know, that kind of thing. Fujino with the K&K rerun. So it would have been cool if we had gotten Maxwell's Demon or the Samurai guy, the Berserker dude, because he's canonically a summonable servant. So that would have been pretty good. I have no Scatty, but I have an NP1 Voyager. We're getting him to level 100, fixes low NP damage. Not really. I mean, it would help if you like him, but to really make him do what he's supposed to do, you do kind of want your own Scatty. However, you could still summon a friend Scatty, and then there's other budget servants you could mix in to help him out. You're not necessarily going to be 3-turning the world, right? Because his NP damage really is not that great. and his class also doesn't really work well for a lot of situations. So he's pretty fucking niche, and if you don't have, like, he relies heavily on double scatty, like, big time. So without double scatty, it's not going to be amazing. But single scatty and then some budget options to fill in the gaps, you know, that could work fine. You know, he's not going to be Edmund by any means. He's not going to be his Lancelot, but he's alright. And, you know, he's got that 50% battery skill on his own, so that definitely helps out. Doesn't fix the damage by any means, but it does, you know, help him, you know, get multiple NPs off without necessarily needing Waver or Scatty. So that's nice. So he has uses for sure. And if you like the character, you like the character, right? It's like, he's a good enough character that I'm like, yeah, if you really, really like him, sure, take him to 100. However, if you're wanting to grail him to 100 just to make him, like, really good for farming and stuff, and you don't have your own Scatty, I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's worth it. That's a lot of grails, and I don't think it would even work out that well. Yeah, we'll see what they do for the anniversary. It's not really the same for NA though, because NA is not having to make new content. They're not having to, you know, hire artists to do work. They don't have to do the sprite work. You know, they're literally just, you know, translating and copy pasting from JP. So I think it affects them a lot less. However, the NA localization team actually doesn't do any of the code work for the NA version of the game. They do none. The JP team actually does. And the JP team is so behind that I think the last thing they're worrying about right now is, oh yeah, we gotta get all the, that NA nonsense done for their next patch, right? I don't think they're worrying about that too much. So I do think that's gonna slow NA down a bit. Because all the localization team does is localize, you know, change the text. They don't do any code work. So that's why sometimes there's been bugs and stuff and it just doesn't get fixed. I'm pretty sure that's why they didn't fix Neurofest Gramps on NA, was because the JP team just didn't give a fuck or didn't have time. This is actually really common though for games like this. Vandictus was the exact same way. Vandictus was a PC game. Actually, it still exists, but it's kind of a shit show now. But anyway, it was made in Korea, and the NA version did not have any developers. It just had a localization team that just did, you know, text and stuff. And so if there was like a bug in a patch or a mess up, they literally had to like mail it to the fucking Korean devs and have them patch it and send the patch back and stuff. It was pretty pathetic, but that actually happens a lot. This is very common for a lot of Asian games, especially ones that are like, I don't know how to put it, but more free-to-play-y, you know, that whole scene. But it saves them money, and there's just not a lot of reason to do it because they don't really make unique content for the different versions of the game, so... Yeah, I mean, we know for a fact that animations don't take any work on their end because it's tied to the patch, like the game client version. And a lot of them are already in the game. They're just not unlocked. Like, they arbitrarily keep them out. If you've got the CCC patch, you've got everything that came with CCC in the game files. And we already know this, like, it's already been seen. And that's why, and the whole reason you weren't getting animation updates early before was because they were doing what JP did, where they tried to tie a lot of hype animation updates for rare units to when they're rated up, because they think it gets people to roll more. But I think they've gotten 1,000,000,001 complaints about, you know, NA being so behind on animation updates. And people aren't stupid. They know where the game client is now. You know, we have the command code UI for like a year, but we don't have animation updates that came in way before the command code UI update, right? It's obvious. And that's why they can put them in so frivolously now. Like, they didn't, it's not like they unlocked, you know, Pandora's box, but then learned hidden secrets to figure out how to put animation updates in early, right? They're snapping their fingers and they're just manifesting because they're already in the fucking game files. Like, you literally already have, like, the game version that has them. That's why, like, whenever they add them, the patch for it is, like, nothing. And the whole reason, like, it was, I really don't like the way they handled it, and this is so common in the game industry, and I think this is pathetic, and this is not specific to FGO, but this is just so prevalent in the game industry, where developers can't talk, they can't shoot straight. They have to PR bullshit everything. Like, if something goes wrong, they can't just say, oh, whoops, we spilled coffee on the server. Or they can't say, oh, yeah, we didn't do that because it wouldn't have made enough money and, like, our publisher, you know. They can't say that. They always have to say stupid bullshit to try to make it sound like, you know, it's not their fault or it's not about money. Or it's like, and it so obviously is. It's like, we're not 12. Like, and I think a lot of people can respect things a lot better if the devs are like, yeah, this just wasn't financially viable, so we didn't do it. Right? If you just say that, I think a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they may not be happy about it, but you know, it's better than being so obviously lied to. Like, and because like, here's an example of this, right? They added a bunch of animations early because those were ones that were on, like, that was like the big set they did a long time ago in JP that all came out at once, and they weren't for rated up characters, right? It was like Ku, Medusa, Medea, you know, Emiya, that stuff. Emiya's was a bit before everyone else's, but anyway, and so they put those in because like those, they wouldn't have been able to monetize those anyway. Those are core characters a lot of people like. But then they're all like, oh yeah, but we can't do you know, the other ones because they're tied to events and stuff. It's just bullshit. And then like and some people were like, oh, why don't they just give us the ones then that aren't tied to, you know, rate ups, you know, like for people that are like, you know, bronze and silver. It's because it's too obvious at that point that they're lying, right? If they gave us Robin Hood, because Robin Hood's animation update came with Liz's, you know, Lancer Liz's, and obviously she was like rated up when that happened. So they're not going to be like, oh yeah, we'll give you Robin Hood's and just arbitrarily not give you Liz's, because then the cat's out of the bag and it's too fucking obvious. But the reason they've like obviously changed gears is because I would imagine the #1 feedback they've gotten and like what all their Twitter is loaded with and what like everybody says to them constantly is, when are we getting the animation updates? Why are we so far behind on the animation updates when the game version is like way more up to date in comparison? I've literally seen that. Like, you can see people saying that to them all the time, and I'm sure there's loads of it that I haven't seen. Like, that's I'm so sure that's like their #1 fucking thing that they hear about. So I think they realized that it was better to just, and I think correctly so, it's better to make your player base happy on this and just not have NA be a million years behind on animations than worry about always adding the animations when their character happens to be rated up. Like, what a coincidence! Like, on NA, when you don't get animation updates at the same time as JP, they still always were adding them when the character was rated up, outside of, like, the Ku, Medea, Medusa ones and stuff like that. It's like, that's not a coincidence. But they've clearly seen it's not worth it, which I agree it's not, because making your player base happy is way more important. Also, we're fighting a boss here, so I should probably be a little bit more careful than I'm being. I do find it sad, though, that they're basically cherry-picking animation updates now. There's almost no rhyme and reason to it anymore, right? Like, we literally have, like, half from one patch and half from another. NA has some animation updates that are so ahead, right? Like, but then, like, they give you Karna's animation update, but then not Arjuna's, even though those came out together, right? That kind of sucks, but, they seem to be basically just picking them almost at random. They pick some that make, or like, are thematic to whatever event is going on, and then they're kind of just doing them at random. I think they just want a chunk per event, so it's something to get people hyped, which it is, so... Oh yeah, see the reason the NA servers were down like that, a big part of that was because the NA team couldn't fix it. They had to get JP to fix it. That's happened multiple times. Remember when Nero, they accidentally put in the text that she was a 5-star, even though she's a 4-star? You know, they had to literally take the servers down for ages because of that, and it's because they couldn't implement that patch without JP doing it. Because again, NA doesn't have any developers. And I know this because, you know, they do all the same shit that Vandictus did, and a lot of other games like this do. It's very common that teams like this don't have any coders, which is dumb, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know why. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing, and for some reason I just used his attack up. I don't know why I did that. Also, and like, JP does this a lot, and they did this recently, and I think this is really disingenuous. Especially because I've seen this affect the player base so much, and they knew it would do this, and this is why they did it. There's been a lot of times where JP is behind. Like, they kind of got the patch done last second, and then so when they're pretty close to the release date, they've just now sent it to Apple for verification, right? and then they try to make it out like Apple's taking longer than normal to verify it. They don't say that on the streams. They always say things, oh yeah, we're like waiting on Apple and stuff. And they know people will take that and run with it and act like, oh my god, it's Apple again, they're taking so long, this is why there's a delay. That's not why there's a delay. There's a delay because, and DW is well aware of this, DW knows the verification process takes a while with Apple, and they know how long it takes because it's not an automated process, it's a manual one. And if you want your patch done in time, you have to give it to them early. They know this. Everybody in the industry knows this. This is not new, right? And they always try to act like, oh, Apple's the one making you wait. Not the fact that we literally didn't get this patch done until the last fucking second, and we couldn't plan ahead well enough, and now we're gonna try to shift the blame to Apple so everyone blames them. They've done that so many times, and it's just silly. Now, at some point, I'm sure sometimes Apple does take longer than normal because of, the virus and holidays and all kinds of stuff like that. But overwhelmingly, it's just DW doesn't get them the fucking patch until the last second. And they never flat out say, oh yeah, it's Apple's fault, but they always, in their streams, they always try to like imply that so they don't get as much heat. And it works! You see this on Reddit all the time and shit, where people are always blaming Apple and stuff if there's a delay like that. It's just silly. Meanwhile, every other game, it's in the same boat, where, yeah, if you don't get them the update early, it's not necessarily going to be verified in time. Like, if you want to be 100% sure your patch is verified for your release date, then you need to give it to them, well ahead of time. And that's obvious, right? That's so obvious. That is such in the professional world, that's a pretty low bar, right? And especially when you have things like holidays and the virus and stuff like that running around, of course that's gonna slow shit down. So if you want to meet your deadline, you need to get it in even sooner. And I get it. Like with Lost Belt 5, they probably couldn't get it done until the last second because DW also was dealing with the virus, right? So if DW was just like, if they should have known that ahead of time for one, and they should have announced the stream later, right? Or on the stream or before the stream to say, oh yeah, the patch probably isn't going to be ready right after the stream like normal. It'll be maybe ready in a day or two after. We're sorry for the delay, but we got the virus and all that, so things have been slower and we couldn't get the patch to Apple as soon as normal, right? If you just said that, no one's going to get mad at you. I mean, some idiot 12-year-old might get mad at you, but I think with the virus especially, people are going to be pretty understanding. Like, oh yeah, we were kind of running last second with the patch here, so we're going to have to wait a little bit. No. But they announced the fucking stream way in advance. They don't say a word about any delays, and literally every time they've done a major content update, it always goes off when the stream ends. Always, right? So if you announce the stream for Lost Belt 5, everyone's going to assume the Lost Belt 5 is right after the stream, right? Because all of them are like that. So when you announce the stream, just be like, oh yeah, and because of the virus, the patch is going to be a little bit delayed, and it might be 12 to 24 hours after the stream. You just say that, no one's going to get their hopes up, no one's going to get mad at you, no problem. But and like I said, there's literally nothing wrong with delaying a patch, it's fine. But it's the whole trying to shift the blame thing that I just think is, shady, pointless, and for God's sakes, sometimes companies need to seriously just take the fucking blame when they make mistakes, and they just can't do it, man. They just can't do it. It's like a spoiled child. Do I even have another? I guess just do that. But DW is not like some massive offender on this. This is a norm in the game industry. It's not unique to DW in any way. Like it's basically everyone. The only devs I really see sometimes that don't act this way and don't always try to shift the blame and don't just fucking lie is normally indie devs. And some indie devs do it too, but I've definitely seen indie devs that can just be a fucking straight shooter and just say what's going on instead of, all this like PR nonsense. Yeah, we can do Herc's interlude. Get that SQ, man. I should check how much SQ we have, because I want to do, like I said, I'm going to start saving up my SQ after a while, but I want to do, a chunk of rolls to just get, some basic CEs and stuff. Like, I really recommend that to new people. It's just, you want to get a few rolls in early just to, build up your base and not be running around with a laughable roster. But, if you're just, if you're like, oh my god, I just started playing FGO today, And I just have to get, I don't know, Mordred whenever she's next rated up. So you want to save every SQ you ever get until she's rated up. That's fine. And, you know, honestly, that'll make the game harder for you, but it can be kind of fun. You can kind of enjoy the challenge, I think. If you're like, oh my god, I have to save every single SQ until Sherlock's rated up, right? So then you're just using FP and friends and stuff. You know, that can be fun. So, now you do you, but as general advice, I do think it's a good idea to do a few rolls. You know, they don't have to be story rolls. You could roll on a rate up if you wanted. But it's just good to get some basic stuff. Yeah, the main interlude thing, it took them forever, as you say. But they also aren't done very well. Because I know Grand Blue Fantasy also allows new players to do old events, and it's just done a million times better. Where the main interlude system, it's like you don't even get the CE. You only get the Servant. You don't get any of the event shop. You know, you can't like play the event, right? Which is stupid. I as far as I'm aware, Grand Blue Fantasy allows you to just buy past events and just play the whole thing, right? All of it. You get all the stuff. Where DW makes it super shitty. It's like it's a pain to buy it in the first place, and then you need rare prisms, and then you only get the Servant. You don't get the CEs. You don't get the event shop. Like they did it in like the worst way, right? Like they made it like so bare bones. It really bothers me. I like FGO a lot. I like Fate a lot. You know, it's got its problems, obviously, even outside of FGO. But it really does bother me sometimes the way they run this game. It's just, there's no safety net. You know, they don't monetize costumes and such. We barely get any costumes, and they're generally low effort. And then we don't get to do past events. And then when we do, we don't even get the CEs and stuff. It's just like, why? It's like, I don't get... It just feels lazy. It feels like they're making so much money. They can't be bothered to just... like do the code to do things like story replay. Like I can't believe we don't have story replay. Like it's crazy to me. Like every other fucking mobile game has it. But what's sad is most of those other mobile games are gear based, right? Like I can go back and replay Lost Belt 3 and it's still gonna be fun, right? Because my servants don't like trivialize it. I'm not any really stronger now than I was then. I just have different options. So Lost Belt 3 would still be super fun even though I've already beaten Lost Belt 5. But a lot of other games which have story replay, they're not like that. They're like an endless treadmill, and you're always getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So if you just, like, Chapter 8, and then you want to go back and do Chapter 5, and Chapter 5 might have been hard when you did it at the time, but it won't be now, right? So all the games like that have story replay, where it doesn't really matter. And then FGO, where story replay would be awesome, at least Camelot and on. Obviously, the stuff before Camelot's kind of a joke. And even Camelot has fun gimmicks, but the stats are a bit low on the enemies. But anyway... You know, story replay I think would get a lot of use in this game. Like I would be so happy if they did that. Alright, let me see here. I have no idea if we can do a 30 summon or not. I wasn't really paying attention. We need 3 more. I'll be do that next stream then. I do need to wrap up. I've been streaming forever. This is super fun though. I can't wait to play this account more and kind of get things going, get to some harder boss fights. What do you think of Arknights? I think it has like the best business model ever for a mobile game, and like they just handle. Yes! There we go. Get some muscle in here. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, yeah, Arknights is really good, and dude, Leonidas is the best. We're granting Leonidas though. That's definitely happening. Not necessarily to 100 again, but that's definitely one. I'm gonna grail a lot of things to 90 instead of grailing things to 100, and Leonidas is definitely gonna be one of those. Feels good, man. No good CEs though. Where's my ley line, dude? Shit. But yeah, Arknights, it's like, I find the gameplay really fun. The story mode's awesome. It's like really challenging. But from like chapter 2 and on, the story mode is super like fun. Like the stages are really hard and stuff, especially if you don't just like throw a million 5 stars at it. Like you can have a really good challenging experience all the way through. Like all the way through, from chapter 2 to all the way to, was it 6 now or 7 or whatever? So yeah, really, really good story. Really, really fair business model. There's a lot of subjective things I don't like about it. Like there's just not enough guys. That's really annoying to me. It's like the waifus everywhere. I like doing low rarity stuff, and almost all the low rarities are chicks, right? And every time they add new male characters, they're all like 5 stars and 6 stars. And I don't want to bring an army of 5 stars and 6 stars. I like doing, you know, a lot of low star stuff and a few rare servants maybe, right? So it's really hard for me to make a roster of characters I like. I do like some of the female characters though, obviously, but I generally relate to guys more, right? That's always how I am with most characters. I generally relate to the male characters more. But there's always female characters I like. But yeah, there's just not very many male low stars. There's so few, and then sometimes they don't have the gameplay that you need, and that just annoys me. Like I want to have more characters that I like. But it's still a good game, very well balanced. It's just excellent. I honestly, the only issues I have with it are subjective stuff. I think in terms of like game design and stuff, I think it's fantastic. You know, the story is really well paced. If you're free to play, it's gonna be like, story is really challenging and engaging, but totally fair. So yeah, it's really just, I mean, great. And then they sell skins like a normal fucking person, right? They just sell the skins for like $10 instead of doing all this other nonsense. Silver Ash is like too strong. He's like fucking Merlin of that game. Obviously he's a DPS, but like he's just like, I don't want to bring him. I like him, he's cool, but I don't want to bring him because it's the same reason I like Waver and Merlin character-wise. They're awesome and they have good voice actors, but I don't want to use them because they trivialize the game in a way that makes it not very fun for me. And Silver Ash is pretty much the same thing. He's just way too strong. Also, I don't have him. There's also that. I mean, in a lot of ways, Achilles' second skill is better because invulnerability is definitely better than evade. But you know, there's the cooldown difference, and then he's got the defense up. You know, there's a lot of apples and oranges there. Like they're just, in general, Achilles and Alter are very different units, right? You know, one's a berserker and is usable against, you know, almost any enemy type, but has the drawbacks of being a berserker. Where Achilles, you know, isn't as, you know, general use, but against casters he's insane because he's a proper counter class. You know, Alter's single target, Achilles' AoE. I mean, they almost have nothing in common aside from the fact that they're both very strong and they both have some nice survivability, right? Where Alter, though, has more survivability, but Achilles has, you know, way more AoE damage and is better against a caster generally, though it depends. But yeah, I mean, they're both super good, so I don't even see the point in comparing them, though, because they're very apples and oranges. Like, any similarities they have are almost, like, irrelevant. Like, it's like, oh wow, they both have a survival skill, but it's not about one skill. It's, oh, one has a 2-hit evade and one has a 2-hit invulnerability. It's like, that's so irrelevant. Like, it's their kit and their totality what matters. Like, what's their total kit? What's their total role? What do they do? It's like, you know, Mordred's second skill before they buffed it was pretty meh, but it didn't make Mordred meh because her third skill was ridiculous, right? Her third skill was nuts. So it's like, I always see people saying Mordred's bad because her second skill was bad. It's like, that's just, it's stupid. Like, it's not about one skill, it's about all your skills, it's about your NP, it's about your overcharge effect, you know, that's what matters. Yeah, I mean, Alter's, like, amazing. Like, I don't like him, like, he's like fanfiction Ku. Like, canonically, he's like a fanfiction Ku. But, I mean, there's no way around it, he's super, super good gameplay-wise. You know, sometimes, and like, he's very similar to Hercules, but they have differences. Like, really burst damagey situations, Hercules is better because Hercules isn't affected by, you know, like Pierce Invulnerability, and like a boss can do 9 damage, and it still will take forever to kill Hercules. Where there could be a gap in your protection from arrows and stuff, and Alter could die very quickly to someone that is like 9 damage. But Alter can be better in the long run. If the bosses aren't doing like crazy gimmicks like that and aren't doing 1,000,000 damage, Alter can, in totality, live longer, especially if you're switching waves. Because if you kill everyone and switch waves, the enemy doesn't get to attack that turn because they're all dead. And then you get a turn off your cooldown for free and you get to attack again. You know, that helps Alter way more than it helps Hercules because Alter getting a turn off his cooldown means more protection from arrows, more guts. There's no cooldown on Herc's Bond CE, right? So it doesn't really do anything. But yeah, they're kind of apples and oranges. All right. We're wrapping up now. Yeah, that was a really long stream, and now I have like 3 separate VODs I have to put on YouTube because I'm an idiot, and the first 2 VODs are going to be terrible because I forgot to fix my bitrate, and they're going to be really low quality and all that, so, you know, that's how you start putting streams on YouTube. Going in with style, boys. All right, like, nobody's streaming FGO right now. Man, I can't wait to get farther in this account, though, man. It's going to be glorious. Alright, let's raid. I hardly recognize anyone streaming right now. There's Kadroth, which he's awesome, but we raid him all the time. Let's... Oh, fuck it, we'll raid him anyway. Good guy. Alright. Well, I'll probably stream tomorrow because I really like this account and I'm ready to go and I finally got my internet fixed. So, yeah. So you guys have a good one and peace.